last time in Renascence, you guys killed the avatar of a god.
Yay.
That was cool.
I did nothing. I sat in a corner and played with clay.
I shot it once, and then I swam for a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot
Talk about the tides turning.
It's a very long, very drawn-out battle. But to my genuine surprise, you guys actually clutched it out and defeated the Avatar of Koran, which didn't think it was going to happen. You guys had a plan. You were going to draw his attention, keep him busy while Burberry did the real work. And as it turned out, we all did real work today, and we only lost 3 people. 2 of them were memory personas.
No, I'm just gonna come out of this and be like, "Who are you?"
One of whom was Adlar. He got booted first, obviously. God, I genuinely, that was a very, very cool fight. So yeah, you guys succeeded in your quest. You drove Quran out of Burberry's soul and were able to extract back to the material plane, and found yourselves waking up. Some of you a little bit worse for wear than the others, all alive, and in the company of the priests of the East Diocese in Hollowvale, in the same ritual chamber where you had all laid down to begin this process.
I feel like Lauren's pretty pumped. She's like, guys, we should go drink. We just killed a god. That's fucking awesome.
That's wicked dope.
This makes me feel so much better about killing Lost Shirag and its little beastie boy. So
And I was like, yeah, we totally got this.
we got this. This is great. Drinks are on me. Let's go.
So, to pick up, I guess, before we start the session proper, it is the morning of the 59th of Salern. You guys were in Burberry Soul for a little over a day, and you're currently, most of you, still in the one of the lecture halls in the Crystal Observatory in the East Diocese. Burberry is in the process of being led out of the room by Cardinal Tarian to go tend to this affliction of his once and for all. Any questions before I turn things over to the game?
Didn't we also level up?
Oh, hey, yeah, that happened. That's right, yeah. We should roll hit points for that.
Our last hit point
I already
roll.
did.
Oh, well, what'd you get?
Sorry, I do not remember.
I guess you're rolling again then.
Where are your hit points now, then?
120.
120, okay.
You can do the math if you have the old one.
113.
All right, 7.
All right.
And
7
thus
total.
Noel ends with a 2.
Damn.
No.
I am also at 120.
Wait, did you roll a 1?
Did I roll
Me?
1?
Yeah.
No, I rolled a 2.
Oh, okay.
That's
Rolled.
what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Sorry, no. I thought you said
Total.
with total.
No, it'd be 6 total. Yeah, because that's tough.
So 118?
122.
Damn,
Oh.
that's a good COT score.
Oh, that's right. You have tough.
It's tough. That's what's doing it.
It's the tough.
I got a 7 plus my con, so 11, which puts me at 153.
I
Good
don't think
shit.
that was literally anything.
At level 14, I think Druid just gets the new subclass thing,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
I can attack 3 times in a
Dear
single
God.
turn.
That's scary.
Normally, yeah.
That's without haste or an action surge.
I can do mean things to dead people, which we run into so many of.
I can shotgun you without a shotgun.
Yeah. There's so many undead in this campaign, I'm sorry. I'll put more in the next one, okay? I swear.
But can we be cleric then?
There's no cleric. Don't do that.
I just need D12
There's
plus
just
my
no pleasing any of you.
That's correct, Clark.
How much was that?
I said I just do a d12 plus my con mod, right?
Yep.
I had 14 to mine then.
So you're at you're at 205.
Past the 200 mark. That's fucking nuts.
That's ridiculous.
Currently, I'm only at 27.
Oh, yeah, because we haven't
27.
long rested.
Oh, your current hit points.
I'm at 84. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Do we get like a boon since we killed a god?
Boon.
You get to see Burberry return to his old body.
Ugh, fine, I guess that's cool enough.
Who's giving you the boon exactly? The god you just killed?
Yeah. It's like, wow, all down before the lost emeralds.
It's like, wow, thanks. You guys cut me off from the best food source I found in ages. Fuck all of you.
You know,
You could all
really,
have
we
a
missed
curse.
the chance to bathe in god blood. That's something I should have put on my
Here,
bucket list.
give me
No,
your
no, no.
spiritual social security number. I'll mail you a fucking sweet boon, I swear. Burberry's like, no, guys, I fell for this scam before. Don't
I have a
do it."
question. Can you dream a god?
Yes, I dream too.
Dream has to be on the same plane.
Where am I playing? But no. What you do is you say, okay, yeah, you could have all of the magic items, all the unlimited stuff. Unfortunately, it only works in Burberry's brain.
Oh, we're not gonna go back there for a while.
Damn.
The boon we got is that Lashrog just gained 200 hit points.
That's not a boon. That's a curse.
Oh, right, that's the opposite of a boon.
No, it's a boon. It's
Karan's
just
gonna tap into Lashrog's like, alright, you fucks. Just to spite y'all.
You know,
This
honestly,
guy has my blessing.
But he would have
Lashrog
to.
gets the fucking boon.
No. But Lashrog would never take Karan's blessing because he's got another gig going on.
Is Lashrog exclusive with the Leviathan?
That's actually
They're
a great
exclusive.
question. Are they exclusive, or would he,
Maybe Lashrog's like
Over.
an opposite
Little-
of Burberry, where he like worships a pantheon of evil.
It's like, if you'll help me kill the Lost Emeralds, fucking join the club.
Get on in here.
Enemy of my
I'll take a
enemy.
few more warlock levels.
I mean, I feel like I could see Koron totally going to Lashrog, and I feel like Lashrog would be like, oh, against Lost Emeralds, you say?
I think Koron would have to be sought out by Lashrog, if I remember how this whole thing works.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, no further questions. DM.
Please.
Sure.
Burberry, become one.
Yeah, so getting back into it. You guys are in the Crystal Observatory. Wood floor lecture hall. The ritual circle laid out around you. The incense burners still, wafting thick clouds of perfumed smoke into the air. You're being given a few small healing spells just to kind of take the edge off from the clerics in the room. And as I said, Burberry has been approached by Cardinal Tarian and is being sort of led towards the door, the stairs really, to begin the final procedure.
How long will it take?
Well, assuming all goes well, the procedure itself shouldn't take more than an hour. I was hoping to get an account of things while it was still fresh, though.
Okay.
If you don't mind, of course, Burberry.
No. I'm
Of course. No, take all the time you need.
Certainly.
Lauren's gonna whisper something dirty into Adler's ear, and they're gonna walk away.
He's gonna get a big smile on his face and follow.
I mean, Noelle already gave Burberry a hug at the end of the last session, and I think she would just tell you, I wish I had something profound or insightful to say about this, but I'm just sorry it took us so long.
considering that it was addressed at all, I'm certainly not going to complain. And honestly, you guys gave me so much. I would probably still be pedaling in a corner somewhere trying to avoid talking to people if I hadn't run into you, so thank you for everything. For both of us.
I think that it's pretty incredible how much we've all lifted each other up. You've given me just as much, Burberry.
You know, we're lucky that we don't have another afternoon, because you probably get some very sappy poetry at the— Ow!
Oh, trust me, I'm going to be writing a lot of sappy poetry after this, don't worry.
Well, I would love to read it. Well, I think I'd love to read it. I'm pretty sure I'd love to read it.
I guess we'll find out.
After these messages.
Alright. Just give you a nod and whenever you're ready.
Tyrion will gesture towards the door and begin to lead you out of the tower. He will lead you across the campus courtyard back towards the little palace where, his apartment is. But rather than take you upstairs to his quarters, he takes you up to the second floor, just the second floor, and to what looks like a small sort of parlor. Nothing too terribly ostentatious. There's a couple sets of double doors on either end of the room that kind of open into the hallway. Tall windows along the outer wall that kind of look down on the courtyard. You can see, the various members of the conclave walking about, going about their day. The curtains are mostly closed, though. There's like small slivers of light kind of shining through each of them, just giving a dim illumination of the room. A fireplace that is currently dark, some seating, in front of it, and at the far end of the chamber, near the further set of double doors, you can see that this little sitting area, where there's like a couple of couches and coffee tables, and armchairs, has been kind of like pushed all up against the wall, and in its place, sort of in the center of all of this, you see what looks to be 3 large altars. For all you know, they could be tables that just have very ornate cloths draped over them, but they definitely strike you as like very, very, ornate in their decor. Gold trim around the edges. You can see the conclave star, visible on each of them. There are candles kind of arrayed around them on the floor in a large circle. And you can see kind of propped up on one of the like coffee tables that got pushed against the wall, there's a very large like bronze brazier where you can see incense has already been piled up. And there's a couple of fellows in the typical conclave robes at that far end that are kind of like in the process of like lighting candles when you and Tyrion walk in, and they say preparations are nearly complete, sir, as requested. And he says, good. Well, please, Burberry, have a seat. They're nearly done, and I do have questions, of course, before we get to it. And he'll just take a seat in front of the fire, and actually before getting started, he'll like kind of lean over and like snap his fingers, and you'll see a tiny little flame kind of kick up. And he'll just kind of clasp his hands and say, "So tell me everything. I've only ever read about these sorts of rites. I've never really performed one myself, truth be told. And every account's a little different, so I am very curious to hear what it is that you saw in there."
Do you want me to repeat this out or just generalize?
I mean, you can generalize. Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
So Burberry will basically give it the lay down. He'll describe what it looked like, what the memories looked like, how splitting in half affected the world.
Tyrion is definitely very intensely interested about that. Like, there's a lot of questions about just like what. So there's two of you, you know, and like how does that work, and like where did it come from, and you know, really digging into what you know about it.
Mm-hmm. I'll also tell him about how I could manifest my friends in there.
And he kind of nods along and he says, "I would just imagine that tracks. Some of the records did mention apparitions pertaining to important individuals in their lives. Frequently appeared over the course of these. It's good that yours were friendly for the most part. It sounds that has not always been the case from what I've read."
Which would lead him going, yeah. There's also pretty gnarly manifestations of my guilt.
Also, you would say.
Gets quiet and like a little bit more reserved to the answers, but is you know, is true to the events. He will admit to not knowing what all of the topside was because he did not go there, but his friends would probably be able to tell you more on that. And also he would mention the manipulation of the river with I, from his perspective, he's not sure why he could suddenly manipulate the river more easily. But
well, I think when you start talking about that too, he says, well, think back, Burberry. Can you remember these parts of your life that you were suddenly able to control? You know, what did those memories pertain to? What do you remember of that time?
And Burberry will tell the altered version because
sure. And yeah, I think when you do think back to it, that there is a definite confusion because like you can tell these memories do not flow together well. There's a fragmentation there now that was not there before, and you remember it not being there before because you've thought back to these times repeatedly over the course of your life. But these core, deep-seated memories are fluid and shaky and wavering in their constants. You're seeing multiple disjointed, proceedings, alternate pathways that your experience seems to have gone down. And in the midst of all that, you can kind of catch flashes here and there of, well, no, it must have gone another way. It must have gone this way because I remember thinking about it later. But thinking back now, that's not what you remember at all. And it's, the description of all that definitely catches Tyrion's attention. He's very, very intrigued by that. And I think as you kind of get into that, he would also start kind of probing, asking, like, so when you did finally begin to shape this space, to facilitate our objective here, you moved it into the third eye. Then did you close it off completely? Like, what would that entail exactly?
Start to close it off completely, but then apparently my friends defeated Koron in my head, so we left it open, but we did leave it so that it was easier to close again if there was any problems. I'm sorry, I should have cleared it with you first, but I thought
No. Buffy, it's your. This is the most intimate part of your very being. I would not deign to claim authority over your soul.
Oh well,
the way
I meant more because if it was incorrect, it might cause things to need to happen again. But I didn't think it would. But on the off chance that,
I imagine in the future you will likely be a little more careful about whom you let in that far. after this experience, so I would hope this would not be necessary again. But I suppose we can't see the entire future.
Well, I certainly have a better celestial network than I did before.
Which I'm sure we'll
references.
discuss at further length, I think, in the future. I confess that I am curious as to how this network of yours come together and served you.
Well, it looks like a very large tent. Whenever I commune, it looks like a tent, and all of the gods that I have communed with all live in the tent. Or visit the tent.
Interesting. I expect that they're not terribly grand in their presentation. If it's just the tent, you've seen outside the tent?
Not... I think I saw outside of it once, outside of...
Like a peak.
Well, because like that
and it was just like out into the astral. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, I'll relay that bit and say although I might have accidentally manifested a few.
That is. There's a lot to unpack there, and I wish that we had the time. But I can't keep you all day.
It was an accident. I was told to distract people, so I made up fake gods, and that they became.
Suffice it to say that our imaginations are powerful things, and yours appears to be particularly powerful, Burberry. Use it responsibly.
Well, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. I've definitely learned my lesson. I don't want to generate any more socks.
Right.
I sound like a crazy person out of context.
I would very much continue on this train in the future. Because it is, quite frankly, fascinating. But I know that you and your friends have fairly full plates these days. And I wouldn't want to keep you longer than I have to. So I suppose, and he'll kind of glance back over to the corner where this ritual circle has been set up, and you can see the priests have already left the room, like in the midst of this conversation. They finished like 20 minutes ago and walked away, just leaving you two to talk. Supposing that you did drive off this avatar in full, he shouldn't have any hold on you at this point. So what follows here, I expect to work. And if it does, you should be back to some semblance of your old self within an hour.
Extremely exciting.
Good. That's very good. I must confess, I don't know, as I did not really have a first-hand account of, or well, not account, first-hand knowledge of what you saw in your soul. But I am a little concerned, from the sounds of things, that there is some pretty substantial alterations that were made by this divinity. I'm not sure if this process is going to completely repair that. I think it's for the best that you be ready now for that potentiality. Genuinely, I don't know if it will fix that. I can certainly put you back in your body. That I am not worried about, but I don't know what it's going to do to your mind or minds, plural.
Well, we have expressed a lot of concern on this, if only because we weren't sure if we were going to forget absolutely everything between then and now, since we are since we are different entities than we started off as.
If you had gotten a chance to explore Burr a little more, that could have been informative, but from what you were able to tell and see, it seems as though, at the very least, there is some sort of synchronicity to your memories. I can't imagine that they would be destroyed by this process.
I think it helps that we stayed close together. So even if the memories are a little different, I mean, we were at least in the same-ish area.
Which will probably help.
I don't ever actually tried to get far apart. I don't think we did either. Oh, you want to do it one more time, once before we leave? Probably not. No. Ugh, boring.
Well, you, at the very least, will probably need to get far enough apart to lay down. One to a table.
That is doable. It's gonna feel really weird. Probably really weird.
If all goes well, it should feel like falling asleep and waking up from a dream.
Are we gonna? Okay.
Your experience should be contiguous. This is not the end for either of you. This is a change of housing.
Well, and those are just new beginnings. If you're an optimist.
Oh, I mean, you've come this far, Burberry. I don't intend to dissuade you from this. I merely want to keep you informed.
It's not dissuasion. One of the things that has fascinated me is all types of gods and religions, and if nothing else, this is just one more leap of faith.
I look forward to being able to help you.
And hey, we've only pancaked once! That is not what I meant.
Pancakes being...
We took a leap and we hit the floor!
A literal expression. Got it. Well...
I think he was referring to Coron.
A fair assessment, then. I could see that. Well, would you like to begin?
They get on their respective tables?
Before you do, he will kind of head over to one of the coffee tables near the door, and he will walk over carrying a pile of like folded linens, and he's going to hand them to Burberry and say, if you would change before we get started. There's a screen, a privacy screen over there. It wouldn't be too much trouble.
Of course. We did prep hold on, and Barry's gonna pull out the single bit of Dragonborn clothing that he had bought before.
Oh, good.
Just for after.
And we'll obviously hold on to the robes. He'll just set after you change. He'll take your clothes and set them down on the couch.
Dang it! Here I was hoping for magical clothes transformation moment. I wanted Sailor Moon shit.
Not quite. So he's going to guide in your little, kind of white tunics. He will guide Burr and Barry to either table on the left and the right, with the empty altar in the center. And as they lie down, he will begin to light the incense, and he will take another small little bowl of this sacred oil and begin to kind of anoint across the forehead.
It's like the tables are next to each other, foot to head, right?
No, it's boom, boom, boom.
This starts. He's like, okay, no one stand between them.
So he will begin to anoint on your foreheads with this holy oil. You'll smell the incense begin to kind of fill the room again. Slightly different scent, a little bit more piney than you were smelling in the observatory tower. And
out of in character, they were correct. It does feel really weird not being next to
not being directly next to each other.
Yeah.
Sure. It's only about 5 feet, but it's the furthest they've been in ages. And he is going to finish with these preparations. He's going to kneel down and pull up a couple of blankets and just kind of tuck them over both Burr and Barry. Just both warm? Everything all right?
Yes.
Good.
Definitely.
So, this next part is the last bits you'll be awake for. I'll see you on the other side, Burberry.
Thank you very much for all of this. I know it's not easy. But scientifically, it's fascinating.
Well, I would be lying if I disagreed, truth be told. We can talk more when you wake up. He is going to pull out a small little pouch, and he is going to reach in and pull out a kind of like a fingerful of this dark, almost black powder.
Just pull out a cuddle, just real hard on that.
And he is going to kind of smear that across both Burr and Barry's forehead in the oil where he set it earlier, and begin incanting. And as he does, you both feel your consciousness beginning to slip away. As you recognize the incantation to feign death. And moments later, it is dark. You are currently blinded and incapacitated. Your speed is 0. You have resistance to all damage except psychic damage. And any diseases or poisons that you're experienced start being suppressed until the spell ends.
And then I wake up on Lasheron's ship.
An hour later. Yeah. And it's dark. And quiet. And peaceful. And you hear Tyrion's voice. Somewhat distant, a little groggy, kind of warbling through the haze of the spell as it wears off. It's done, Burberry. Can you open your eyes?
I don't know, can I?
I mean, Burr and Barry hear these words.
No, legitimately asking, TM, can I?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to do?
Open eyes, and can I move? Can I sit up?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to set up immediately, you Burr very immediately both begin to put a hand down, and there's definitely this moment of confusion as you find yourself kind of struggling to coordinate this motion. It's almost like you're being fought for the right to push this hand into the bed, but eventually it finds the edge of the table and pushes up, and you open your eyes, and that it too is a little bit of a struggle. And as you look out and look down, you find yourself lying on the central altar. There's a blanket over your legs.
3. Okay.
Modest.
And in that moment, Burr and Barry, I think they realize, 1, they've moved. 2, they've moved to the central altar of these two. And 3, if they got moved to the central altar, where did the other one go? You hear Tyrion's voice behind you. It's like, how is everything? Go slow. I can't speak to what you might be going through right now. Can you hear me? Can you speak?
The light in my room keeps flickering, and it's just like hello?
And you'll see Tyrion kind of walk around into the front of you and kind of lean in, kind of looking into your eyes. He'll kind of hold up a candle and say, "You look well enough." I mean, Burr and Barry both see this candle kind of shift from left to right and right again. You're holding focus well.
Who's active?
Does Burberry say this, or
Yes,
are you?
that was Burberry.
Sure. Tyrion kind of furrows his brow a little bit, and he says, "I'm not sure what you mean by that, but you are back in one piece." If by who do you mean Burr or Barry, are you both in there?
So, either that, or I've gotten really good at being in sync in an hour, which seems silly.
And you see his expression kind of break a little bit as he kind of smiles. Says, "Oh, that went much better than I thought it would." I confess, I am a bit relieved. You'll see him kind of sit back against the back of a couch outside the circle, and just kind of looking at him now, you can see there's definitely a decent amount of sweat running down the side of his face. He's kind of red, a little flushed. It looks like he's been at it, for the past hour. And he says, "Well, it sounds as though you've reintegrated much better than I could have hoped. Do you feel any sort of division at all? Is there any breakage, any friction between the two of you? Well, what was the two of you?"
I don't think so, but it was a little odd, because whenever I first started getting up, I started feeling like I could see both at the same time, which is weird since... Wait. I do only have 2 eyes, right?
You still have just 2 eyes. There's a mirror if you'd like to take a look. Do you need help He'll hold out a hand to help you up.
Maybe I'll sit for a bit just to make sure.
Wait, hold on. And Burberry does like opens and closes all of his toes.
Sure. Well, motion's good. That's good.
Cripes. I think I'm going to have to learn how to walk again, aren't I?
Maybe.
Hopefully it's like riding a bicycle.
This is the first time I've ever done this myself, so
I
suppose we'll find
mean
out.
this in the nicest way, but I'm kind of glad for that.
As am
not for me, obviously, but for everybody else.
Of course, no, this should not be a common occurrence. But listen, he'll start kind of looking around the room, and eventually he'll settle on like a very like tall, narrow coat rack, and he'll just grab it and start carrying it over. He's like, if this helps, and he'll set it down next to the altar where you're sitting. As he does this, and you kind of track him, you can see the altar to your left. You know, the one closer to the door. The blanket is still kind of thrown over that altar, and you can see what looks like a very distinctive, small, kobold-ish shape under the blanket, lying still on the altar.
Whoa. That just took a dark turn.
That's so dark.
Is there one on the other side, or is it just on the one side?
And you look behind you, and you see the same thing on the altar to your right.
Oh, that's spooky.
Oh, I'm traumatized.
You're traumatized.
I'm traumatized. I'm not even there. This isn't even my character, and I'm traumatized.
Would that be like a double trauma since it's 2?
I think as Tyrion sets the coat rack down, he kind of catches your expression and says, "Yes, well, you're not in there anymore. So they're just sort of..."
Okay, I have some immediate questions.
I'm sure, of course. Honestly, I do myself as well.
All right, question 1. Was this separate, or did this get fabricated?
Well, we worked out a means to reincarnate you. So this is new-ish. We did our best to sort of tap into who you were before the split, but reconstituting 2 bodies into one, I confess, was a little bit outside of my ability to conceptualize, but I have performed reincarnations before, just never quite in these circumstances. So I thought there was probably some way to rig it, and it turns out that it worked well enough, but it does leave behind some remnants, obviously. What was that?
So that's why he gave him the blankets, to make sure he wasn't cold. Anyways, please continue. Sorry.
No. You don't get to walk away from this, Johnny. I'm continuing it, because he knew he was going to get cold.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he did definitely get cold. They both got very cold. Very, very cold. It's gonna keep knitting.
This is going to sound really weird. I'm starting to cry.
Oh no!
I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. That's dark as to wake up next to your former bodies. Like, that's crazy.
Well, no, unironically, even though it's like...
Truth be told, that would happen regardless of whether or not you were alive or dead with reincarnation. You could wake up to your old body next to you.
Oh no! And this is gonna sound really funny, but like, this is the first time I've buried a character.
Oh.
And this time I get to bury 2.
But is it really a character?
We
is
probably
the
only have to pay for
question.
one coffin, though.
You sicko.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Peter.
Time
We
and
needed
place.
some humor. We needed
Too
some humor, man.
fresh.
It's getting dark in here.
I mean, I got a light if we need one.
If nothing else, Kat, I very much appreciate this because now I'm not the only person who's cried during this game. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, I had a joke ready for after this, but I forgot it.
Yeah, I'll come back to you.
God, I hope not. Because then I'll say it and I'll completely ruin my own mood.
Sure.
Oy vey. Oof.
It's a big
Ah.
change. It's a big change.
Well, yeah, about the 5'6" big change. Or 5'7"? How tall am I?
Great question. How tall was Burberry before?
I don't remember. Hold on, it's been a while since.
All right.
Oh. All right. Well. First off, I wonder. Okay, am I the only one in the room with him right now, or is there
Yes.
more people?
It's just the two of you.
I would deeply want to get my spell book to see if your version and my version line up.
I mean, everything's right there on the couch. Here, he'll hurry over and grab your pile of clothes and your bag and everything, and bring it back.
Wait,
over
I
to
don't
you.
actually have reincarnation. That's not in my spells. But I'm horribly curious. Like, tell me all about this spell that I haven't seen before.
Reincarnate is a 5th level. It is technically a druid spell.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like, oh, it's not. Wait, I forgot. It's not in my spell book, so I'm
Yeah.
curious. You know, tell me all about it. Rituals, count me in.
With the proper materials as well as a sample of the deceased, one can coax the soul into a new body that is formed to refacilitate their return to the living. In its most basic form, obviously, there is a certain level of chance that is what you might come back as. Obviously, we've done some work on this spell ourselves to try and guide it a little bit more heavy-handedly in the direction that we would prefer. So, we were able to conjure, I suppose, a version of yourself into being. And then just pull your soul back together inside.
I wonder if I were to cast Revivify or another one of the bring back to life spells on them, if I would split apart again. I'm not gonna do it, obviously.
You see him kind of break a little bit and kind of smile, and it says, honestly, I'm a little relieved to hear you say that, because I've been extremely curious about that myself. I
mean,
cannot,
where do you wanna go?
I cannot tell you just how unprecedented this whole situation is, and as I understand it's emotional, but at the same time, I mean, this is fascinating.
Oh, they're nerding out together. How cute.
There's our Burberry.
And he says, and you know, I understand if you would prefer to do something ceremonial with the remains. I mean, obviously that is at your discretion, but
Science. Sorry.
we
What?
could also
Science. Oh.
Yeah.
we could preserve them in your absence if you had a mind to do that.
Science.
Well, you know what? I would be the first person in history to donate 2 of my bodies to science.
Sigh. Sorry, that's Cardinal Tarragon's inner voice.
Tarrion is doing his best to keep a straight face during this, but I feel like Burberry's got the insight to see there's definitely a tinge of excitement there. You could tell this is
all right. I'll make you a deal. First, you go get a good night's sleep because you've been busy. Second, after you've slept, we are going to sit down and we are going to look the heck out of this in a couple of hours. I want to talk all about this with you.
Good. In that case, then, I will see that these 2 are taken somewhere clean and sterile, and we will put them in repose.
Yes, please.
Of course.
Okay, I'll stop.
I would like to know, I would greatly enjoy being and if you do want to try questionable things, because this is an unprecedented situation, I would be game. But please,
I would have no desire to do any of this without you or your consent with any of this. Obviously, I mean, this is
yes, but
this is you we're talking about, or at least a prior version of yourself.
Yeah, a part. So do treat it with some respect.
Of course.
And this is going to sound a little odd. Thank you for having us undress ahead of time so that I wouldn't have to get stuff off of myself. I appreciate that.
Thought that might be a little unsettling after everything. I figured the shock of it might be a little much, but I didn't want to risk an upset before the procedure, just in case if that was something that could be disruptive.
You knit together a person.
Well, the divine knitted together a person. I simply asked nicely for about an hour.
Please. Please
put him back together, please.
It was a lot of please, Burberry.
You don't have any idea how many Hail Marys I had.
So, your effects here, obviously, can you stand? We still haven't established that in all of this. I feel like that might be a little important.
Right, sorry, I got very excited. Of course. And I will very gingerly step off the table and probably almost immediately do a faceplant, but catch myself on the side of the table.
I mean, and there is the coat rack that he pulled over too that you could use to kind of hold yourself up as well.
I was right. I am very not practiced with these knees anymore.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, 1, out of practice with this particular body shape, and 2, there is still that weird kind of doubling sensation of you can kind of still sense the 2 perspectives of Burr and Barry there, and that kind of jostling for control is also slightly difficult to coordinate, which probably isn't helping.
I wonder if this is causing really massive earthquakes in my psyche.
I hope it's not too disruptive. It doesn't sound too terribly disruptive at this rate, but who's to say? Obviously your things. Get yourself some water. Try a little bit of food. See if you can get anything down. I had a couple of things for you before we parted ways today. Hold up. And he is going to kind of head across the room, kind of rummaging through cabinets and trying to see where did I put that? One moment, Burberry. He'll actually leave the room momentarily.
While he's gone, I'm actually going to give myself rights and tell my old bodies thank you very much for all that.
Sure. Okay.
To both.
And after about 5 minutes, Tyrion will come back, and he will have a couple of things in his hands. Small metal objects you can see. There looks to be a chain trailing from both of them, actually, now that you look. And as he comes back and sees you kind of doing your last rites, he'll pause and wait for you to finish. And after you do, he'll say, I had wanted to give you these next time I saw you, regardless of whether you were ready for this process or not, just because I know you and your friends have this cult situation you're working with the Eastern Alliance on. And not that the Conclave is terribly involved, but I have heard some rumor that things are coming to a head soon.
A small boon regarding that. Maybe don't mention. And he gestures towards the bodies to my friends, because
I leave that entirely to you.
I'm not going to. This is hard enough without finding out that.
Sure. But I wanted you to have these. He will kind of hold out a couple of items. One is definitely smaller than the other. It is a small golden amulet. It's sort of that compass rose emblem of the Enclave with the concentric rings. The central aperture of this amulet has a very large, beautiful white opal set in the center of it. And he will say, this was given to me when I took my office here as Cardinal. It should, I hope, strengthen your connection with the divine, which I imagine would be useful in whatever comes next for you and your friends. And I think it might do more good with you than with me at this point. So I would very much like for you to take this. He will hand you an Amulet of the Devout +2.
Damn.
The other item is significantly larger, but has a very similar sort of shape. There is a large, kind of golden, hefty object affixed to a chain. At the other end of the chain, there is a small, fairly ornate golden sort of handle. There's kind of a flat end on either side. The chain kind of comes out of one end. And the large ornament at the end of it definitely has the look of like a morning star. There are these sort of ridged flanges that kind of like ring around the sort of the central axis. But all across the surface of this thing, there are these very small perforations. And he will say to you, this is an old relic from probably the 5th incursion, maybe the 4th. Has not seen much use in quite a while, but I, again, think this would be better served in your hands than sitting here in a display case. So he will hand you a devotee's censer as well. So, for reference, Barbary, here's the text for each in references.
Damn, those are some fucking cool items.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted. Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
How am I muted? How did I do that? Anyway. Oh, it's because I wrote +2 and I have my mute on my plus button. That would do it. It's really funny. When I first made Burberry as a character, I kind of was just like, hey, it'd be really funny to make a mace that's also a censer. But the fact that there's actually
it exists
for it, it's amazing.
It actually exists.
I didn't know it was a real item.
That is cool as hell.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. I will certainly put both of these to excellent use, and I don't know what to say. I'll definitely return them after all things go well.
Well, I would urge you not to return them prematurely, obviously. If there's need for them out there, then I think they're better served out there, in your hands. I cannot exactly leave my post, given my responsibilities, but you are in a unique position at the moment, and you have come incredibly far in a very short time, it seems, since leaving seminary. I think I would get quite the chewing out from our leadership upstairs if I were to stand in your way at this point. But do be careful.
Naturally. I've already learned what happens when you're not.
He will just kind of momentarily, like his eyes just kind of flick over to the other two altars, like, yes, well, at any rate, I
Rest.
expect that your friends will probably be eager to speak with you, so he will gesture, and Noelle, you will receive a sitting spell from Tarion.
Damn it, I was hoping to startle them.
Where is your party at the moment? I believe we're just about finished up here.
Oh, I should meet them downstairs.
Of course.
Where were we left? Is it far from where this currently they are at the moment?
So, I mean, an hour ago when you guys parted ways with Burberry,
Oh yeah, an
you were
hour
in
has
the
passed. Yeah.
Crystal Observatory. So, in the hour since then, what would your party?
Sure.
What would the party be doing?
Lorne and Adlar don't know where Lorne and Adlar went. I went to the
They found a
library.
broom closet. You probably can hear them down the hall.
I went to the library, and I think John and Barnaby went to the cafeteria.
Sounds about right.
Yep, Lauren and Adler just in a broom closet. So.
Wait, I hear something in a closet nearby. 1 second.
Lauren, shh.
What? Shh.
Guys?
Who is it?
Okay.
There is no one here but brooms.
Not just brooms. And a bucket. For the dirty mop.
Alright, well, the brooms in the bucket could start wrapping it up. I think they're done with Burberry stuff. So get
get off
yourselves
of me!
cleaned up.
She'll open up the door.
Adlar's like pulling his pants up.
We're ready.
Just in time. I guess we'll head to... Did he tell us where to go? I don't know.
He did not say. But Tarion would pass along what you told him to Burberry and say, well, Noelle says she's in the archive, and John and Barnaby sound as though they are eating. Lauren is unaccounted for.
Head to the archive, then. Well, once I get dressed,
Of course. As you command, Burberry, I will retire for the morning and catch my breath. But I trust that you can find your way well enough.
Burberry
I'll have a
will
walking stick sent down. Just
thank you. I
just
would
to be sure.
greatly appreciate it, because I feel like the wall is about to be my best friend for a little bit.
Of course. I will leave you to it then. Tarion will leave the room. And as you get ready, after about 3 minutes, an attendant will at the door. Brother Burberry, I have the walking stick the Cardinal sent.
Thank you.
And either you answer and take it, or he'll leave it by the door at your insistence. Either way.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Then
Hobble over.
yeah. I'll get the clothes on. I'll get the walking stick. I will take a moment at the door to look back, and then I will move onwards.
Yeah. As Noel collects Aloran and Adlar, and they make their way out of the archive, Burberry, you make your way out the front doors of the little palace, and stepping across the courtyard, kind of heading roughly towards the center of things, you would catch sight of each other. And, yeah, what do they see?
Artwork! So excited.
Hell yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
The completed Burberry.
Yay!
Dope.
So yeah, Burberry's probably not like wearing the cloak anymore, but he still has the Burberry scarf. And yeah, he's
Probably just kind of got like the long white. Or no, I guess you had one set of Dragonborn clothes.
I put it as a
Is it these clothes?
Nah, it's probably something a little more generic. You know, that's where it's gonna land after, because
Okay.
I think Burberry is actually gonna take the clothes that he was wearing before and like
Retailer.
re-stitch them into something.
Sure.
But yeah, and because I am a complete doofus, here is where did I get it? The all outfits version with the layering and
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Hey.
so
Burberry.
Like the hat that was the hole for the horns.
Of course.
I had to. It needs it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys will see Burberry hobbling over with a cane under one hand.
Burberry?
Burberry?
All right, I am not gonna lie. I have been wanting to do this for a very long time, and he ruffles Noel's hair.
Oh, how tall is Burberry?
I think in his normal format, I had him be 5'7" or 5'8".
A little taller than Noel. A little bit.
Noel's 5'7".
A little bit. He can reach is what's
If my
important.
hair gets
Yes,
ruffled,
that's
I'm
what's
definitely
important.
taller than you. She'll just pull you into a really tight hug.
Yeah, you'll have the instance of Burr nor Barry had spikes on their back, but Burberry does.
Oh,
Just kinda-
Are they
You-
edged or are they just kind of jutting out?
They're jutting out.
you are a little sharper.
Well, you know, I didn't think I got much smarter, and he gives you a wink.
Who are you and why do you sound like Burberry?
Barnaby walks
He's got
up.
like a cafeteria tray.
Barnaby, this isn't a dream. Don't even start, please.
I wasn't even going there. I'm talking about who's this new person, why they sound like Burr and Barry.
Hi, I'm Barnaby. Nice to meet you.
Oh no, you ain't. We already been through this. Where's Barnabyism?
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Burberry proper.
Oh, do you have any relation to Burberry then? Where are they anyways?
Oh, you could say we're extremely close.
I like brother and sister, something like that.
Even closer than that.
What's even closer than that?
Chinese twins.
He's gonna lean in and gonna go, you could say we've been inside each other.
Oh, gross. I'm going back to eating.
Lauren will she'll snort and laugh.
You see John walking out of the cafeteria with a big meat stick. He sees Burberry, his eyes just go wide, he's like, and just walks back into the cafeteria.
Lauren will go and give you a hug.
Should I tell them, or should I wait for them to find
I
out
think they'll
themselves?
figure it out. You know, it's like when you have a pet and you move into a new home, and it takes a while for them to get used to the idea, but eventually they just sort of accept the circumstances.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
like
what? That's fair.
the dad that doesn't want the new cat and eventually will love the new cat more than everybody else. That'll be them.
Okay,
A
fair
lot
enough.
of pet
fair-
analogies here.
Well, I mean, you did just adopt a giant lizard, so.
Oh yeah, we kind of did.
That's one of my...
You now see John walking back out of the cafeteria. He doesn't have the meat stick anymore, and he looks like cleaned up a bit.
Oh.
He's like, sorry, I was a little messy before. Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you, John, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Hi.
you were very tall before, and you are still very tall, but no, you're just tall.
Not as
Not-
tall, though.
Relatively, yes.
I'm assuming you're Burr and Barry together?
Yes, just Burberry. It's still Burberry. That hasn't changed.
Adler's like
I mean-
crouching down, like looking up at John, like,
Wouldn't
Yeah.
having two minds in one body be different, though?
I think I kind of still have to. It's a little scrambled in there. It'll work. It takes 10 days to see the world from a new perspective. So give it 10 days.
I think we can afford that.
It might be nice to have a vacation, even if it's a forced one.
I love vacations.
So I was looking at it, I was like, I like the horns.
Thank you. Wait. And he like goes to feel like how they're situated on his head. And he says, yeah, they're about the same as I remember. I'm glad that they don't end in sharp points anymore. The slight dull's probably better for my hats.
So, do you want to go get food to celebrate?
I was given very strict orders to go and try and get something down.
Perfect. Go celebrate.
All right. I'm gonna. Sorry. Quick warning. I'm still getting used. I have 4 fingers again.
Lauren will turn into a horse and like neigh at you, like neigh, and then like lower herself.
It's time for your chance to ride Lauren bareback.
Thank you. I didn't have to make the joke. Burberry shall adorn you side saddle because the tail's on the other side.
Fair enough.
Though he might grab onto your hair a little tight to not fall off.
sure.
Lauren likes a good hair pull. What?
You do realize you could have said that out loud, right?
She said it in our heads.
She said it.
Telepathically.
She said it telepathically to you.
Okay, no, I'm just making sure, because you said third person.
Okay, Lauren would be like, don't worry, I like a good hair pull.
Where
Yes,
She
you could
doesn't
say
actually
it's
have
your-
hair.
No, it's just become her main interest.
What sounds good to you? What do you want to go try?
Good question.
We could go back to that barfing tuba place. The food was actually pretty good.
Teeth anymore. Ooh. Yes, let's do that.
Okay. I guess I'll take Burberry over there.
Yeah, you will get to see the absolutely terrifying sight of Burberry, like, fully eating something, like, just
Whole.
whole. Yeah.
Full pelican mode.
Yeah, you guys head back to the multi-story tavern and restaurant. The big neon sign of the guy barfing into the tube and drinking it again. Still going outside. You get inside. There's all the floating instruments and plates. Thing. The maitre d' at the front recognizes your party. He's like, "Lost Emerald Trooper." Same booth. He'll very quickly begin making arrangements to get you guys back upstairs. You definitely draw some stairs. As you guys
Out of
walk into
curiosity,
the
are we
party.
like tired?
Herbert.
Like we?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
There is
Big new party
definitely
members in?
a fatigue,
I feel like our sleep schedules are gonna be completely fucked after this.
a little bit.
No, we're just gonna stay up and party until nighttime, and then we'll go to bed.
We
To be
probably
fair,
should-
you haven't-
I'm not gonna agree to that right now because I'm supposed to be in recovery. But
Well, that's
later,
why I
heck
didn't-
yes.
That's why I didn't suggest drinking now. Right now we're eating.
I mean, I am supposed to also drink fluids.
Oh, I can get you many variety of fluids.
Probably something light, though, like wine.
Wine, perfect.
You realize now that you have a new body, you get
Sorry,
to check out all your taste buds for the first time now.
I understood most of that. Could you repeat the sentence, though?
I said you realize now that you have a new body, you get to check out all your taste buds for the first time.
Yes.
True.
I agree with the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will be able to set up and get some food. I would say to the point of being tired, you guys did finish a long rest while you were in there. You guys were unconscious in the material plane that whole time. I think the fatigue is primarily from having had the shit beat out of you by a god.
So, I guess the question is, like, what time is it outside?
It's probably, like, getting close to lunch.
Okay.
11 or 12, roughly.
Well, I mean, I feel like not knowing the morbid situation that Berber just experienced, Noelle would ask, what was it like? Do you know what kind of spells he had to use to get you back to normal?
Well, I got a short summary on it. We did talk about it because apparently they used a druid spell.
Ooh. What spell?
But I didn't quite understand the particulars because it's not quite in my wheelhouse.
Sure. I mean, maybe Lauren would know.
What was it?
Reincarnate?
Oh, I think actually Lauren does know.
She would be able to cast it. She's a druid at its 5th level.
Oh, it's 5th level?
Yeah.
What are you rolling for?
Deception.
Lauren's like, oh, I know how to do that. Wait, you said I
don't
could have
think
just
Berber said reincarnate yet.
No.
I think he's holding that back.
Yeah.
Sure.
What druid spell was it?
There's just a long pause. Is like there's that look of concentration on his face. I'm just gonna tell you off the bat. He rolled a nat 1 on deception, so he's desperately trying to think up of a name, but he doesn't know enough druid spells to come up with a fake one.
I feel like she's gonna start like going through stuff that might make sense.
Just listing things.
I feel like Noelle's inside's high enough to be like, we could talk about this later once you're a little more rested. I think your brain might be a little still, figuring things out.
Sorry, yes. Again, with this nat 1, Burberry is jumping on this opportunity.
Sure. Let's just start slow. Let's get some food and see how that works.
I'd say, just for what it's worth, I think the biggest struggle is just general coordination, but, food tastes fine, normal.
I am a mess
What if your
right
taste buds? What if your new taste buds don't like squid pops?
I'm fairly sure that would be incorrect, but I can try it. I still have them. And he'll go digging through his bag, and he proceeds to eat squid pops just as enthusiastically as he did before, because the love of squid pops predated.
That's a childhood, childhood core memory. So, it's an adjustment, just getting the locomotion figured out again in the new body, but stomach's fine. You're not no upset tummy, not feeling gargly, no need to barf. Having a good time.
Yeah, I'll say that the coordination is probably a little off, and so he's probably not as neat as a neater as he usually is, but
it's like just drop villain.
Well, no, more like whenever you're first trying to use chopsticks and you can't quite figure out which fingers.
Yeah.
To proper, it's like that with his fork because he's got an extra one.
Right.
And he doesn't know what to do with it. He's just daintily eating it with the pinky.
Hang on. Okay.
I gotta wrap it around. There is definitely one thing that I miss doing though, and he holds the wine glass in front of his mouth and he just sticks his tongue in it, and the wine starts decreasing.
That is awesome. How do you do that? Lauren's gonna try to copy that.
How do you do that?
Oh, so initially we were, before dragons were rolled around, lizards will eat their prey whole, right? But they have to not suffocate while they do that, so sometimes there's like some extra pipes in there. And because we are incapable of drinking things without sticking our whole face in there, we evolved to actually have a, at least my brand of Dragonborn, have evolved to have a hole that you can also drink out of.
Huh.
I think Lauren tries and she's gonna choke. She's like, she's like inhaling it. And she's like, nope.
Oh no! Don't wrong pipe that. I did that several times.
Oh god, I think I only have one pipe.
Yeah.
It's like having a built-in straw.
Yes. But you do lose that you can't sip stuff. So if something's really hot when you stick your tongue into it, scalding it's a lot easier.
Ugh.
Never mind. Good.
So, how long ago would you have last been a Dragonborn then? 2 years?
I'll be real out of character. Time got real wibbly wobbly in there. So I'm not actually. I was never actually sure how long I'd been two kobolds before.
Okay. I think it would have been a couple of years if I had to guess.
Yeah.
That was my impression. It was long enough that it was, a sticking point.
Yeah. So, obviously the entirety that we've been traveling together, and maybe a year before that.
Oh. It's a long time to be in a
Not
different
yourself.
body like that. Yeah, not yourself.
I have to say, the oddest parts were being squishy, having teeth, although that was very nice on occasion. You get a lot more flavor when you chew stuff. I couldn't grab things with my feet anymore. I didn't like that very much.
What's under the table?
So, in Burberry, it's not like a full grab, but it is like he can fully, make that motion with his feet.
It's kind of a bird
Clawing.
Yeah, so he could perch on a branch fine, but he couldn't pick up a soda.
Sure.
And why does my light keep flickering? And the proportions on my feet are different, so it's a little it's like getting off of a. Nope, that's not an analogy I can make because they don't have moving sidewalks.
Trains.
It's like getting off of ice after you've been ice skating for a while.
Right.
So you have to readjust your balance.
That makes sense.
I am gonna miss the teeth, though.
I have a hunch that you will get used to it pretty quick.
10 days?
10 days.
Is this day 0 or day 1?
I think this would be day 1.
Okay.
Maybe day 2, since I've already had this before.
Wait a minute, does this mean that you can breathe fire now?
The Burberry grins.
Don't do it in here.
Why would I do it in here?
I don't know, you just seemed excited for a second there.
I mean, admittedly, I did briefly forget about it.
That's pretty
But
cool.
yes, I should be able to breathe fire now, and I should also not catch on fire quite as easily.
I don't think we've ever run into that problem.
No, we seem to have water issues more than fire ones.
Yeah, we tend to. But hey, if there's a burning building, we know who to send inside.
Anyone else?
Fair enough, fair enough.
I feel like I've done that in a past life. It wasn't a lot of fun.
forgot about that. I don't know. I guess we have a good meal together.
Yeah.
I did say that I would go back to the conclave to possibly discuss any felt changes in the next sort of like a checkup. So I'll probably be heading over there after in half a day or so.
Sure. Do they want to have you for a few days, or when do you want to head back to Freeport?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this all functions.
Okay. Well, whatever you want.
Although I could request with the Eastern Alliance to go separately from y'all if you would like to go ahead.
What do you mean?
Well, because we got here with the teleportation circles.
Oh, I could just walk us through a tree over back.
No, I meant if you wanted to head ahead of me.
If Burberry wanted to stay in Hollowvale.
Or I could also. Oh wait, I can teleport myself now. I remember both halves. Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh yeah, you don't have to finagle the spells between the two of you now.
No.
Yeah, Lauren's is like, well, I
I
could
live
just
there.
walk through a tree and take us back too. So.
Well, no, as I said, no. I mean, if y'all want to head ahead of me, since I would need to go separately, so it would need to be a way that I can get there by myself. If you don't want to hang around, because I understand that there's a wedding. And he looks at Lauren.
Wait. Is that suit, Adlar?
I mean,
Well, I didn't mean so much the ceremony itself as the planning or starting to talk about it. Have you told his parents yet?
no.
They did, didn't they? There was I distinctly
Did we?
remember this, that you were
Oh, wait,
making
no, I
jokes
think
about
we
it being a
did.
shotgun wedding. You were both pretty high.
Yeah, I think we were joking about that, but I don't think they actually did.
I think they did.
Adlar's over here like, I don't remember
I
now.
very
Shit.
distinctly remember you immediately dragging Adlar back to his parents' house right afterwards.
Did we tell my parents? I don't remember.
That does sound something like I would do, actually.
It sounds like something you would do, which makes me angry, but I also don't remember this at all. Shit.
Should we just go back there real quick and see?
No.
No, come on, let's go.
No, we don't have to
We'll
go.
be back in like an hour.
No. You can do that later. I was just curious. I mean, there should be this is a big deal. It should be treated with some reverence. Although I do know that you guys are rather impulsive and probably just want to hold on. Elope. Y'all probably would prefer to elope.
Oh no, I'd like to have a wedding.
I wouldn't say no to elope, but I suppose if you want to have a wedding, then
Come
who
on.
am I
you
to say
see?
no?
There is something to discuss there.
Hey, we could have a wedding as like a right before we go kill La Sharad.
I mean,
Well,
that
nice
was
to
my
know.
my thing. Is like,
Big shebang
get
bang.
while the getting's good, because the getting may not be so good after.
We can die as married ones.
Exactly.
That will make it
Husband.
all the more beautifully tragic if we all die.
It would be
Just
beautiful.
think of the poetry.
All right.
No.
You're
I mean, if you would like, you can. Do you have a book of your poetry? Like, I know that you have your journal, but do you have like a cleaned up version?
Oh, no, not at all. I don't really. Share it.
If you would like, since the Conclave does have a very extensive library archive, you could donate or lend the book to the archive before we leave, and that way, if we do all end up dead, there will be something of you remaining.
I sort of needed to cast spells, but that could be a project of making a second copy of it.
Well, you've got 10 days. That I am randomly imposing as a player.
I mean, we might be longer than that, but who knows?
so who would like to help me plan a wedding?
I mean, I could certainly help.
I feel like I should be involved.
I mean, you have a Oh no, wait.
This has nothing to do
The
with you at
Bachelor
bar.
Boys! You guys can go do a little party!
We could have a bachelor party.
Adler's gonna make direct eye contact with Barnaby.
I'll be the driver.
We could do that, I suppose. He looks back to the rest of the party. Bachelor party.
Glad that Barnaby has decided to accept a perfect stranger into the group.
Well, you can take Alexi and Gideon.
Oh, Gideon would be a riot at a bachelor
Oh, I
party.
bet he would be
I'm sure.
amazing. But Alexi would be.
Reyna would probably be a good time.
Gerald.
Actually.
Oh, yeah, you should totally grab.
Reyna would be
Maybe
good.
not Gerald.
I think you could have fun at a bachelor party.
I think Gerald could have fun.
You don't think it would be weird?
Well, it's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird either
You
way.
just
Just
invited
get
half
out
the
of the
game.
way. Just get out of the way
They're a
early.
little weird.
Yes, I suppose.
Noelle, before you join in the bachelorette party, make sure to have a hangover, something or other beforehand.
Oh, I've still got these nausea pills that we've had the entire game.
Oh, good.
For seasickness, right?
They were for pregnancy originally.
Oh.
I have to get Saren, though, and bring her. Oh my god, I need to go see my mom. Adler, we have to go see my mom. Guys, we'll be back.
You still don't have to leave right now, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Well, we can move things forward with Burberry here.
Okay.
Yes.
See where that goes.
The day is y'all, so like whatever you guys want to do with it. Who
A
has
very,
a thing?
very tiny thing. Noelle would be super curious to see if they ever translated the Astron poetry book at the archive that she donated last time we came.
They have started. They have like a couple chapters worth done. Just because it's an ongoing transcription thing, and there's other work to be done in the archive. But there is this tiefling archivist that's been like the primary go-to on that particular project, and she'd be able to show you what she has so far. The style of the book is, now that you're actually reading it, it's much less of a like book of poetry as much as it is like one big epic poem.
Cool.
There's a fairly irregular sort of rhythm to it. Relatively long lines, and there's a weird like 11 lines to a stanza rule that you kind of see observed throughout this. It's odd. It's an odd meter, but the story here, best as you can piece out, is
How far into it is the translation? Like halfway, or?
it's like 2 chapters in so far.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it probably 2 out of probably like 30 or 40, she'd guess. But it looks to be sort of like almost like a cosmogony of the Astron people. Sort of.
Oh, wow.
The first chapter is like this extremely literary, like abstract Genesis story. You know, the creation of the cosmos, and you know, there's all of these names listed. You know, that the archivist is presuming are sort of like the old deities of these people.
Wow.
From their early history and how they sort of intermingled and fought and coupled and feuded and created the world of the Astron in their infancy, and it is a very lyrical and like very visually kind of evocative style. You don't have a very like vivid kind of image coming away from this. The second chapter seems to be sort of a sort of like almost like the founding of Rome, sort of a story. This city, whose name is, it's not translatable to proper name, something like Exegia or something. And then, the family that kind of ruled this clan and the feud between them and this very like Norse saga style blood feud that kind of like lasts through generations as this clan kind of lays claim to territory and grows, expands, and incorporates other clans. As the archivist is kind of watching you read, she kind of goes on to explain. It's like, I mean, I'm reading ahead. They seem to really jump around genre-wise a lot. The later chapters are almost complete esoterica. I honestly couldn't make heads or tails of it even translated. That's been some work to try and put to common.
So this is more like a compendium of vignettes than it is a full, or than it is like individual elements, I guess.
Each chapter is sort of its own sort of story, but it all does seem to have this thread of like, this is the history of the people.
Interesting.
To it, from the perspective of this singular poet.
I think Noelle, looking over this, forgetting that there's a tiefling sitting next to her, she's just like, of all the books to steal.
She just kind of looks at you like you just was stolen. She just kind of looks at you and says, well, when you're done, if you could just leave it back on the pedestal there, I'll get back to it when I've got some time.
This is a hell of a project.
It certainly is. I have my work cut out for me.
I have a hunch that we will be chatting more, just because I think I'm going to come back and check on this every so often. What is your name?
Prudence.
Prudence? I'm Noelle.
Pleasure to meet you, Noelle.
Insight check.
Prudence will take her leave, leave you 2 bits of translated chapter.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't stick for long. I would go through them and just kind of get a sense of it and be like, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, after a little while, I'd probably move on.
Okay. So.
Because there's more exciting things going on today.
So, who else has got stuff?
I mean, I'm just gonna go nerd out over science stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Back to Cardinal Tarian.
By the time, I suppose, you reconnect with the Cardinal Tarian after eating, you would be directed upon asking for him to a cellar of the little palace. You'd be led below ground and guided to a chamber that appears to be some sort of alchemical facility. And getting inside, you would find Tarian inside, already kind of arranging this chamber. And the 2 altars have been brought down here, wheeled down. And on top, obviously, are still the blanketed forms of a pair of kobolds underneath them. And seeing you step in, he's like, "Oh, Burberry, good. Well, they are reposed. They should be well and safe from the elements down here, and we'll be keeping a close eye to make sure they stay that way. How are you feeling?"
Well, the coordination is good. Everything seems to be working properly. Still a little bit on the warring
Your voice
side,
is
but
doing a little weird kind of warbly thing now. Is that new? Is that old?
a bit of old, a bit of new. We're still figuring out our voices here. Don't mind us.
Sure. Yeah, you're going so roboty.
Oh no!
But yeah, he'll
I'm
show
sorry,
you in.
Burberry hasn't finished uploading yet.
He's working on it. He'll kind of show you around the lab. It's a pretty well stocked alchemist's array. Like there's enough equipment here for all sorts of sort of potion making, decanting, distillations, whatever. You'd say, we do a lot of reagent preparations down here, but I figured it's probably a good place to also set up for whatever experimentation you might want to engage in. Have you put any thought into that yet?
Well, honestly, the question that was broached whenever I first got up is still there. I mean, it is an interesting topic, but unfortunately, I think if I did do it and it worked, I might need to be put together again.
There is that small problem. We could try something a little less committal.
Well, we could see if there's still, and I feel like this just is going to dissolve into like very specific conversations about soul versus body.
Yeah. I mean, Tyrion's first pitch would be like, I would be fascinated to hear Speak with Dead. With
Yes!
or both, if you were up to it. Just kind of running the gamut of tests just to kind of see like what the divide looks like and if you experience anything having them spells cast on them.
Yes,
So.
that I am up for that. Although I think if we do Speak with Dead and it does work, I'm gonna need a minute.
Sure. I mean, it's up to you. Whatever. If you want to play out anything, or if you just kind of want to have this is what Burberry's doing today is talking about this.
This is what Burberry's doing today, and I'm not gonna go too far into it. But what does happen when we cast Speak with Dead? Because now it's in my brain and I want to know.
I mean, you cast Speak with Dead on which one? Burberry.
We'll go with Burr.
Okay. So hold the blanket back. You see Burr laying there, and cast Speak with Dead, and you watch as the body takes a breath, the eyes open, and it just slowly turns its head to look at you, and the brow furrows a little bit, somewhat confused.
Oh. Well, that works.
Well, that confirms, another confirmation of suspicions. Do you want to ask, or should I?
I'll let him ask. Because I was just gonna dispel it, like, yeah, this worked, okay.
Sure. What's your name? And I was Burberry. Then I was Burr.
Just gonna sit down for a minute. He can ask the 5 questions. He can ask all to himself.
He'll keep asking. It's interesting because it definitely responds as a corpse tends to, but you could definitely pick up, the little traces of Burr's attitude, I suppose, in the questions. Little bits of inflection that kind of remind you of that very distinct part of your personality. I think the most striking thing is probably the difference in perspective now that you've recombined, and you kind of have both sides of this pair, where before they were separated. And you recognize, like, yeah, nah, yesterday I would absolutely have answered that way. But at the same time, that's not entirely who I am now, and it arguably wasn't who I was yesterday, because that was only part of me then. It's odd, for sure, but it's also maybe a little reassuring to kind of sense this broader perspective, listening to an older version of yourself reply to Tarian's questions. And he doesn't ask anything hard hitting. You know, he's mostly kind of collecting information that you both already know. But when he finishes and Burr closes his eyes again, he turns back to you and he says, anything on your end? Did you feel anything from that spell? I mean, did you... Magically, I should say. I imagine you're probably feeling a number of things, but...
From an emotional standpoint, yes. From an actual standpoint, no.
Good. Reassuring, to be sure. Certainly. Are you sure that you're up to continue today? We don't have to push to do it all at once. I mean, you're welcome to come and go when you can.
I'll be fine. It's odd because, like, I recognize them as being me, but it's like a funhouse mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's both you and also not you.
Imagine it's not unlike reading an old journal.
Yes, that's an apt analogy.
Kind of looks back to them and says, well, I continue to have concerns about Revivify, but we could try something a little bit more potent that would give you at least a choice. See
What you have in
happens.
mind?
Oh, he'll kind of like unearth his own holy symbol from inside his cassock, and you can see there's diamonds like studding the perimeter of it. And he says, "We could try to raise dead on one of them."
If isn't that irreversible? Like, then that make them undead, and so they wouldn't be possible.
No,
to...
not animate.
Oh.
Raise.
Okay,
Return
sorry.
from death.
Gotcha. Right.
No, he is not recommending necromancy.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, hey.
No. It's the step between revivify and resurrection is raise dead.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he's like, we could try that, see if you feel something there. And I know that Soul has the choice in that case.
I would be amenable for that. Yes. Although in my experience, when I had anything cast on me from one form, it does hit both.
Interesting.
We made a very messed up couple of polymorphs.
He will he'll take out his holy symbol and he will begin the process of casting Raise Dead, which takes an hour. And as you watch him perform the rite, you see the light beginning to kind of grow between his fingers as he clutches the holy symbol. You can see the diamonds in the rim shining very intensely, like little LEDs. Kind of small sparks kind of shooting off of them every now and then. The faint heat of the spell beneath his hand as he holds it over Barry, this time we'll say, and continues to incant. And as he continues the spell, you do actually feel something. This tugging sensation from somewhere inside of you, almost like a longing. You sense very clearly that this is rooted in Tarian's magic. You can tell, just there's something about the sensation that feels like Cardinal Tarian to you. And there is definitely a draw, a connection being forged between you and the body on the slab.
So that definitely causes a tug.
He'll acknowledge you as he continues to incant, but he doesn't stop. He keeps going just to see, see it through.
And then I get a little dialogue box. Are you sure you want to?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I expect I know the answer, but does Burberry accept the summons of raised dead?
No.
It is your call. Sure. So you feel the pull continue to kind of grow, this sensation of longing to reconnect. It persists for most of this ritual until the hour passes and you watch this sharp flash of light under Tyrion's hand. You hear this kind of crackling sound as a shower of sparks kind of sprays out from the holy symbol across the body. And as he pulls his hand away, there's a small waft of smoke still kind of hanging in the air. He kind of looks at the holy symbol, looks back to you. So,
I'm still connected to them, it seems. And I would know this out of character. Is that able? Like, can you attempt that more than once?
Raised dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only limit on that is time. Different levels of resurrection require, or have a looser time requirement. Raised dead can be used within 10 days of death.
Is that 10 days since the body died, or 10 days since the body stopped getting spare the dying?
Gentle repose does
right.
stop that timer. So they've, for all intents and purposes, they've been dead for a few minutes. Right. So
I shouldn't. No, I should. I shouldn't have a backup plan, no.
Your call.
How far away is the solstice again?
Solstice.
It's not a bad backup plan.
Not a bad backup plan.
It's not a bad backup plan at all.
That is not the right thing. That's called Fight Club. I want fantasy calendar.
I've got a ways still, I think.
It's a ways off. We're at the 59th, and the summer solstice is in the middle of Sharo, which is 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 months. So like 60, 120, 180, 210 days.
Okay.
Little time.
So this is gonna sound a little weird, but I think I might want to take them with me whenever I leave to stay at the conclave in Freeport. The solstice is coming up, and might be good to have a backup plan in case things go
Tits up.
into the fan.
Now, what sort of arrangement are you hoping to make? I mean, we can certainly set something up here if need be, unless you need them in Freeport specifically.
Oh, no, I just didn't want anybody to have to waste the spare the dying every day for...
Oh, it's a weekly thing. Don't...
Okay.
We can tend to you if need be. It's no trouble, Burberry.
I mean, if you're all right with that, because I don't want to...
I will do it myself if you would permit me to. I am more than happy.
I will hold on to these. I'll do what you'd like. Just let me keep them.
Science! Sorry, that felt like a good
Science!
place to put that.
Well, if that is the case, then happily, and if you are doing any more spells that have a little bit of tugging, just warn me.
Nothing without your consent, of course. I would send before anything, but I mean, there's plenty of observation and record keeping to be done at the minimum.
Well, okay, yeah. In that case, yes. And I'll do a wave over the rest of the science for the day.
Sure,
but that's what Burberry's probably going to be up to.
They'll keep at it. Okay. So, I mean, eventually you'll part ways. You can reconvene with the party later that evening. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to do during the day?
I think if we're all in Hollowvale, then probably not too much, I imagine.
I mean, Lauren could hop skippity doo and go tell her mom.
That's true.
You could. Do you want to?
Yeah, I think she will. I think she feels really bad because she's like, oh my god.
Sure.
I need to go tell my mom.
So does it transport through tree, I think it's called?
Transport via plant.
Via plants.
Wait, do I have 2?
Just 6th level.
Oh, just kidding. Never mind.
Well, you're doing it once per day, so if you go, you're staying the night.
No, she'll wait. She'll wait.
Okay. Fair enough. So, party can reconvene in the evening at a predetermined meeting spot somewhere in Hollowvale.
The cafeteria.
Sure. And, yeah. What do you guys want to do?
So, Berber, do you want to stick around here for a little longer, or do you want to head back to Freeport tonight?
Did science reach a conclusion today, or does science want to continue into tomorrow?
There's probably plenty of science to be done, but, you know, it's when you have time. Terry recognizes the Lost Emeralds have kind of taken on a big task, and he's not going to sit here and demand you hang out and fucking experiment on your old bodies with it.
Well, it's mostly like, are there any other spells that do require my actual presence?
Any pressing spells?
Well,
really.
it doesn't need to be pressing. It's just more like, because I would like to do all the ones that require, like, if they want to ask if my soul gets tugged or whatever, I would like to.
The big ones for that are the resurrection tests, and y'all just did one of those, so.
Okay, then.
Revivify remains a question mark, but also, like, do we want to push that button? I don't know.
Nah, not yet.
That's a sketchy one.
Yeah, we'll hold on to that for later. They can do all the questions like, how does it feel to have your soul tugged from one body to another? Like, ugh.
This sucks.
I feel like I just got drunk out of a straw. Okay, then maybe I'll basically we'll do via like ideas, conjecture, all of that via post for a while. And that'll help me because I do feel like at the end of the first day there was a lot of staring off into space.
Yeah.
Sure. Berber's probably pretty fried by the time he gets to dinner. Just sits down with the tray, just like.
You okay? You look like really tired, Burberry.
There were a lot of questions.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I think you're done with those for the day at the very least.
Yes, most definitely. Am looking forward to eating. Wait, what did I put that?
Shit.
Yeah, so that'll be.
I feel like your
Just
walking
everyone's
has gotten better.
Yes, no, the balance is it's a lot faster the second go round. Go figure.
Makes sense.
What all did you end up doing today? Engage small talk.
Yeah, we talked for a bit.
If we wanted, I could show y'all the village I built for my village remaining.
I
villages.
actually would love to see that, but also wasn't the whole point that we didn't know where it was?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I feel like the likelihood of actually figuring it out, if it's just us, is probably pretty low. I was a little panicked that day.
Yeah, we were all pretty stressed at that point.
Yes. And plus, their whereabouts aren't going to be publicly in a newspaper anymore, so.
While I would welcome it, this is gonna sound weird. I might be okay. No, I'll be okay.
That did sound
Stop.
weird.
Okay, no. So out of character, quick cat thought processes. If I know now, does my body know? No, we did a test. The body doesn't know what I know now. The body only knows what
The body only knows what it knew before it died.
Right, so it's just like, so if I know and my bodies know what I know, then there would be 3 people that know, and they can very easily steal my car.
The bodies know what you knew when you died.
No, that's why I said, no, wait, I think I'm fine. Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah. Y'all would have been able to confirm that.
I mean,
I got there, it just took me a minute.
So long as none of us get kidnapped and interrogated, it's not a huge deal, I suppose. I'd be happy to go see your family again.
Alright, well, if you all are okay with that, we can go whenever you guys want.
Well, then you do have some very important news.
That's true.
Okay, I do need to know, though. How slinky is your wedding dress going to be?
I don't know.
You are very good at picking dresses that show your assets.
It probably will be quite beautiful.
Ooh, I'm thinking mermaid cut.
Mermaid cut, low V cut, backless.
Side note, I feel like Burberry knows a lot more about this than most guys do, just because he does do a lot of sewing.
You did do a lot of.
I feel like Burberry was training to go into tailoring before he took up the.
Burberry, do you make my wedding dress?
No, I am not that good. I can do basic stitches. I understand basic forms because it was definitely trial by fire. I only really knew about basic sewing before the split happened, and then I had to make a lot of clothes for myself, so.
Well, the option's open.
I can do some embroidery on it, though, if you do have a basic dress form.
Okay, I can work with that.
If you guys are actually planning to get married before we go fight La Shirag, we will have to put this together fairly quickly. I mean, we only have 210 days until the solstice.
See, it's like we're eloping almost, Adlar, except with an actual wedding.
Except my
except
parents
with
will
all
be
the
there.
planning and work still. Best of both worlds, right, Adlar?
Are both of your parents going to be there? And Burberry gestures to both Aloran and Adlar. Are both of your parents going to be there?
Well, my mother will be there.
Okay. Nah, it's just if she is traveling outside of village. Because the where is important.
That is a good question. Where do we want to do this? Pharaoh?
dagger more. I'm just kidding. Yes, Pharaoh. Plus, it might. I'm going to try to get my mother into moving there at some point, so
Could tell her on
give her
it.
a little sneak peek. So I have a feeling I'll be spending a lot of time on my future.
That is probably true.
And I think she'd love it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
We've yet to
No
show it
place
to
like it.
someone who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you teleport us today?
Yes, I can.
I don't think we've ever actually used your teleportation. The Lost Emeralds haven't.
Yeah.
It's always
She's
been
used
Noelle.
it alone.
Yeah, no, she's used it, but we haven't experienced it. How does this work? You need a tree or something?
Yeah, a big enough tree we can walk through. All of us. So a bigger
Walks.
tree.
Sure.
Bigger tree than I need.
Yeah, I mean, there are some decently sized trees in the parks around Hallowvale. All of them are, very well manicured lawns, although they're partially covered in snow. There's some snow in the branches of the trees there. All you need is a large plant, technically. So as long as it takes up a 10-foot square, doesn't have to be gigantic.
Dope.
That's a pretty big fucking tree.
I mean, you could take up a 10-foot square without being 10 feet wide. It's just,
It's the tree and the branches
Mm.
have to be 10 foot, not just the trunk.
yeah, it's just gotta be big enough.
No,
So-
you may only use tree teleportation when you're in the redwoods.
So
what
a
kind,
10-foot
of
square
tree?
would be a really
There's
small fucking tree. That's why it's weird.
would you want like a pine tree or like an oak tree or a willow? Like what do you? Because they got variety here.
Let's go with the willow tree. I like willow.
Alright.
I'm gonna
So you
go with
find
it's just
a-
that the trunk needs to be bigger than the biggest of us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably fair.
Sure. You find a willow on the edge of a pond in the park here. The branches are like kind of half bare. It's relatively warm in the Emerald Coast in the winter, but even so, there's still the occasional snowfall. There's still, the cold front that comes through. So it's kind of a sparse-looking tree at the moment, but
Oh,
you are able to cast transport via plants if you like.
before she does that, I think she'd be like, before we go, actually, I don't get cold easily, but you all do, so bundle up.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit, that's right. Adler starts unpacking his coat and scarf and mittens. And
Noelle
hat and all
does
this
have
shit.
her winter clothes still from when we went to CrimelCon.
Burberry doesn't move.
Oh, you're like me. Cold.
Well, not exactly, but it's I did used to live in cold climates.
Used to it.
I lived thousands.
Also, worst comes to worst, I could always just set myself on fire.
True. All
I
right.
can do that now.
Good place to test out your fire breath.
Sure.
If everybody's ready, she's not going to take them directly to the village because I'm assuming it's going to be nighttime there.
Yeah, and I think you used a tree that was kind of like off from the village as well last time. I think you kind of built out in the open, like on an embankment on the edge of one of the big lakes.
Yeah.
Right? So there was space to build and not a lot to disrupt.
Yeah.
So, using the tree that you used last time as your target, you cast transport via plants, and you watch as a knot in the center of the willow begins to widen until it's kind of stretches up and down the trunk, which is partially bent. You kind of have this like odd skewing to the left archway facing you, and the edges of it kind of shine with this green light, but through it you can see a very different sort of landscape covered in snow, kind of stretching out under a starry sky. And Adlar immediately starts walking through. He's like, "Yeah, we've got only a few seconds. Let's go, guys." He just starts waddling through
Okay.
Yep, just walk through it.
And you guys would step out of
Fancy.
a fairly tall, kind of lone standing pine out in this field. Snow kind of all around you. As soon as you guys are out, this aperture closes up behind you. And Noelle and probably a little bit Burberry, you would both kind of recall the somewhat humid, biting cold of winters in Aelia. Calls back a lot of memories. But thankfully the wind is fairly quiet today. The air is still, the sky is clear.
What time is it roughly here?
It's like, which way does the fucking planet turn? So, it's actually, I think it's actually earlier.
Yeah,
than
you gain
it
hours
was.
going this way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we'll just say you guys left, late at night in whatever, and it's like just after sundown here.
Do you guys just want to set up camp out here and go see them in the morning so that they're not rushing to make...
Yeah. Boy, we should have just slept at the warm place, but yeah, sure.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, you can walk, it's fine. You can see it. It's like in the distance out, on the edge of a lake. But it's a walk.
Fine.
It's up to you.
Never mind, Noelle. So sorry. Let's go.
It's okay.
Adler's already walking.
Yep. We'll go say hi at least.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll say let's take our break here
Okay.
and be back in 10 because Tenzin's pitching a fit and he's to eat. So
All right. So
I gotta go do that.
Great.
I believe we can resume then.
Alright, stream is back.
All right. So, you guys would be able to walk from the trees down to the lakeside and reach the little makeshift village that Lauren built when she was last in Aelia. Just so everybody's got a little idea, what kind of buildings did you build? What does this place look like?
So she would have used a mixture of like stone shape and there's one that like allows you to do plants.
Plant growth.
Plant growth. So they would be like these like stone and wooden like cottages looking things.
That's cool.
Is it like living wood or is it
Living wood, yeah.
interesting?
I would say it's very Hobbit core vibes.
Sure.
I'll say that.
There's only like 11 people here, right?
Yeah, it's probably like 6 or 7 buildings. Maybe more if they needed something like like a shed or a whatever granary.
There's probably a few.
Yeah, some public buildings, but mostly just like 6 or 7 houses.
You did a very good job.
This looks very nice.
Which one is your mom's?
That one over there.
There's a light in the window.
Oh, she's up.
You might want to be the one to knock.
Oh, what? Of course you should knock. Of course she'll know who you are.
Well,
Knock.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I should knock.
Yeah.
Of all of us,
If
I should.
anybody should knock,
Yes.
it should be Burger knocking.
You've never seen before.
She will knock on the door.
I'd say with your passive perception, you could probably hear some movement inside before you knocked, and it goes quiet after you do.
I feel like Lauren's like, Mom, it's me. Promise. And she'd say like something really embarrassing from her childhood.
Like what?
Because instead of a password?
I want to know about Lauren's embarrassing childhood.
Yeah, what embarrassing childhood secret do you share to prove that you're who you say you are? John's like, I'm filled with regret now.
I'm like thinking, I feel like she did something really stupid where she would just like run around the house like with like her dad's like helmet on or something and she couldn't see and she's like, I'm a warrior. Some shit like that.
Fucking clotheslines yourself on the table. Sure.
Remember that time I wore Dad's helmet and was talking about how I was like a big strong warrior and I clotheslined myself on the table? And then I cried really, really badly.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Shut up.
Part of me, Adler, just chuckle. You honestly, you kind of hear your mom chuckle from inside, and then you hear the footsteps and the door opens and says, "We really should set up a passwords." Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jocelyn?
Oh, I feel like before we actually real quick pause on the scene. When we showed up, I feel like she would have asked like Noelle and Berber to do some like little light magic when she's like, "We're engaged."
Okay, sure. Yes, light magic.
Which we totally have. Hold on.
If you have it, it's okay if you don't.
I know I have
pattern
something.
on everyone.
Might ruin the moment a little bit.
I mean, everyone will be stunned into silence.
But...
Ow.
I don't know, I can make little fizzly sparks with prestidigitation, sure.
It's like a little sparkler.
Hi, Mom. You remember all my friends, right?
Most of them. Hello, everyone.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Burberry, the other version
You were wearing a mask last time.
Yes.
That's
yes.
why-
That's the only thing that was different.
Yep.
Only thing.
Your name is Yoslin, correct?
Yes.
I feel like we've only ever met under strenuous circumstances. It's very good to see you.
It's good to see you too,
Noel.
Noel. I was
Yes.
close.
You were on the right track.
I was on the way. Well, please come in. It's cold. I'm sure you're all freezing. She'll usher everyone inside. Not a big cottage, It's got enough room for her bed and the kitchen and a little seat by the fire. I mean, it's not like a giant palace with sprawling hall. It's modest. It's modest. If you want to give her a 2-story ranch, whatever.
No, she doesn't have. She doesn't.
Okay.
I think she can fit everybody in here very well, though.
Sure.
It's like
Yeah.
modest.
It's cozy. I think is the best description. It's cozy. So you'd all be able to kind of file in, and she'd say, I hadn't made much, but I could put some more on the fire if you're hungry.
I actually just ate, so you are in luck.
Oh, well, good. Then I will just keep cooking what I was making. Are you
I
sure
can
you're
do
not hungry, hon?
I actually just ate with.
Okay.
Actually, I think if they decided to come over here, I think she would have get her mom food.
Do what?
She would have bought her mom some food and brought it with her.
Oh, sure. Just piles of groceries. He's like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take these down to the cellar, and she'll head downstairs and put away the groceries and come back up.
If there's a fire, we could put on a kettle for some tea, maybe, just to warm up.
Tea. Yes, I can do that. She'll grab a kettle and
I feel like Lauren's like, no, go sit down, go relax, start eating tea for her mom.
She'll just sit at the table then and just kind of sigh and say, "So, what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? This was very sudden. I wasn't expecting."
I feel like Lauren's gonna bop over with her little pot of water, and she's like, "Oh, Adlar, and I have news for you, Mom."
She's pregnant.
No.
Yeah, her mom definitely has this look on her face of like, good or bad, like she's waiting to hear.
Are you guys ready? We're engaged.
Okay.
I'll do it again.
Your mom is seated, thankfully, and her eyes go wide. It just in the moment, there's like the beginnings of this smile, but I think as she meets your eyes, you've got the insight to sense there is definitely a question in her expression. Nothing she's saying out loud, but she's definitely like making very pointed eye contact with you through this smile, and you can tell like there's.
I feel like she'll still go telepathic. She'll be like, "What? That?"
She like blinks at that and is like, congratulations! Wow, that's so. I didn't expect that.
You can respond to me, and they can't.
Wait, is this in the head or?
Cut out.
Yeah, she's going to ask her mom, be like, "You can respond to me telepathically. I see the question in your, or would you like to talk later?"
I think she gets out later. I think.
Okay.
Oh, Lauren, she's not saying anything.
But she will get up and she will walk over to Adlar and open her arms and just like wrap around him in a big hug. And he's like, "Oh, feel like I should have asked, and I apologize for that. She's like, no. Welcome to the family. And
Well, we're not married yet, heck.
when is the wedding? She'll look at you.
We're gonna start planning it to have a little happiness before we go deal with the thing that we're dealing with, and just in case things go.
No time like the present.
Exactly.
She'll give you a smile.
Also, to avoid a death flag.
No.
It will make Adlar's heroic sacrifice at the end all the more beautiful.
No. Stop it.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, if we get married right before we fight Lasharog, we'll have the benefit of, I think, an extra couple of AC for like a week after the wedding.
Oh, because of the ceremony spell.
Yeah, that's not Adlar, that's just me saying
I mean, I was planning on casting Ceremony, but I didn't know what, because there's multiple that you can cast.
Well, it would be wedding, so you get an extra 2 AC when you're within 30 feet of each other for 7 days after the wedding.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's cute.
All right, so we have to go kill him 7 days after our wedding, guys.
Well, you can try to coordinate that.
Get married on the ship.
I mean, I could also, not cast Ceremony at the ceremony and just cast Ceremony later.
Do all the actual paperwork after the
Yeah.
the
We'll
pattern
figure
for it.
out the specifics later.
Sure. Anyways, yeah, I think Yasun hugs Adlar, very, very welcoming. It sounds like, well, I appreciate you at least coming to tell me and yourself. That's big news. Do you intend to have it out here or back east?
We were talking about Feral, and of course we would come and bring you with us.
And Saren, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. I think she'd kill me if I didn't bring her.
I think you're right.
Honestly, I was thinking about inviting everybody here.
I was about to say, I think everyone would actually be very happy to hear the news.
Would they? Well, almost everybody.
I don't think he would begrudge you a wedding.
I think he would.
If it's who you're talking about.
Pettier man than I imagined. Were that the case?
He hates me. He has made that very.
Oh, on the bright side, maybe he would just shut up for a day.
Hey,
That is true.
could give me peace and quiet.
Well,
He
at
doesn't
any rate,
willingly, you can always make him.
That's always on the
Was it?
table. He said if he doesn't willingly, we can just make him.
I would prefer not to threaten him. Kaus was a different story, but I mean, I didn't threaten Kaus, mother. Totally didn't do that.
What happened? Lauren?
Mom?
What happened with Kaus?
Nothing.
That doesn't sound like nothing. That sounds like a something.
Well, he'll never speak poorly about Dad ever. And say that.
Noelle, do you know what happened with Kaus?
I genuinely have no clue. I don't even remember who Kaus is.
He's alive. He's not dead. I didn't
I
actually hurt him or
assumed he
anything.
was alive, Lauren. Goodness. Did you just assume that I would assume that you killed him?
I don't know, maybe.
What have you been up to recently? I don't like that look.
A lot, actually.
A lot, mother.
as it turns out.
If you want me to tell you about what I've been doing, I can.
If you two would like to catch up for a bit, we could step out.
We could step out. Please stay with the fire. There's tea's almost ready.
Yeah, you guys. Well, we're fine out here. You guys are actually get cold.
I would not say no to a cup of tea.
The kettle should be almost done. And the tea's right there in the cabinet.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Lauren,
Yes, mother.
she will just kind of put a hand on your back and begin to guide you outside.
She's like, damn it, I did it again. I always talk myself into trouble.
So what is this that happened with Kaus exactly?
Nothing like crazy. He just has always been talking poorly about her. I was kind of annoyed, and I might have maybe threatened him a little bit.
You threatened the conservator.
Oh, wait, do you not know what's going on at the Green Wardens right now?
Lauren, I'm half the world away. No, I don't know what's going on at the Green Wardens. What's happening?
Oh, okay. I interrupted one of their meetings one day because they were all being really stupid about the Asherog thing. I yelled at all of them. And now the Green Wardens are like split into two groups of people that agree with me and people that agree with the conservators. And I have like a whole little group of people that want to follow me into battle. So, yeah.
It is dark out, but you can definitely see the color drain from her face as you say that in the moonlight. She goes an even paler gray than she was before.
See, and this is why I didn't want to tell you about stuff.
And does this have anything to do with the sudden engagement?
What do you mean?
All of this business with the wardens, and sounds as though you're gearing up for something big. I don't know that I could.
If you want to know the truth, Lashrog is planning on summoning a beastie to this plane that is like eldritch god that is planning to like destroy everything and everyone and rebuild a new world. Basically, and we are trying to stop it. And that is why I went in and yelled at it at the Green Wardens, because they didn't want to help, and that's what they should be doing either way. But I will be kicked out of this. I'll be the scapegoat for the organization. I've already
You're cutting out.
I've already talked to the number one. I can't remember what his title is called.
Steward.
I've already talked to the steward, so I will no longer be part of the warden. This is all said and I think her mom would probably tell that she seems like a little. There's like some shame there, I think.
I think you can see the worry on her face. There is a very real concern just dragging her face down. She does very slowly kind of extend a hand to kind of wrap around your shoulder and pull you in closer. And as she does hug you, I think she would kind of whisper, I suppose the last expedition must feel so long ago now.
It does.
And if this Sharag man is trying to end the world, I suppose it's not an unreasonable thing to seek out what happiness you can.
Yeah.
She'll kind of pull back a little to look at you in the eye.
There's one thing I regret was not getting that happiness with him, and I don't want to make the same mistake twice.
She nods.
Shit.
Certainly.
I'm feeling teary-eyed. Damn
He
it.
seems like he makes you. He seems like he makes you happy.
He does.
If you don't know anyone in that room, he seems the least worried.
We just killed a god, kind of. So, I think he's still riding that high right now. That was in our friend. Yeah. That's a complicated story, and I don't even know where to start there.
That sounds. She'll kind of nod. She kind of braces herself, and she says,
He wasn't a good god at all. He was very, very mean.
I'm sure if you're not up to the story today, I will be very curious to hear how it goes later, if you would prefer to talk about it later.
Well, it's not entirely my story to tell.
Well, I won't lie. I am curious, but
I'll see if Berber.
Lauren,
Yes.
whatever happens with the wardens and this Sharag, I know your father would be proud of you.
I hope so.
I'm proud of you.
Yes, well, I have made sure his fury is on me, so we will see what happens. Yes, but I don't want him hurting my friends as much as possible.
You've never been one to back down, so I can only imagine what you've done to ensure that. I don't think I want to know, mind you. Please don't tell me that exactly. But
Well, it's nothing actually that terrible. I know how to dream people, and then you can just talk to people for 8 hours.
I am
And
starting
then
to get a picture. I don't know that I want.
I just
Let's
really
see if your
annoyed.
friends need any more tea. She's gonna give you another big hug and kiss you on the top of the head, and she's gonna say, "I love you very much, Lauren. Just make sure you come back."
That is the goal at the end of the day.
And you do feel her shudder a little bit as she kind of chokes on that last word. Just make sure you come back.
That's the goal, and Noelle and Burberry are very good at making sure people come.
Oh, then you better make sure that they come back too.
And that's why his eye will be focused on me primarily. So they can bring me back.
Okay, and now we're getting back to the part that your father and I don't talk about. So, how are your friends?
I think while they're gone, Noelle would step up to Adlar and just say, "Hey, I know you didn't have to help with the whole Berber situation, but we very much appreciated having you there."
What are you talking about?
Well, you've known Burberry for the least amount of time among any of us. That's all. I mean, we only met you a few months ago.
Sure, but Lauren only met you a few months ago. Truth be told, as I understand, you all got together about a month before you came to Pharaoh.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes the timetables get a little strange in my brain. But
It's like over a year has passed.
Yeah, crazy. Feels like years ago. But well, regardless of whether you felt obligated or not, thank you again.
Of course, I was not going to miss that. Just because I am not Burberry's bestest friend, I know that is you. I am not going to fight you for the title.
I promise,
But
it's not a competition.
you all helped me with Dota. At the very least, I could do after all of that. Plus, Lauren is going somewhere crazy to fight a god. I'm not going to just stand there and watch and say, okay, yeah, have fun. Goodbye, I'll be waiting here. Come on.
That's... You act like it's nothing, but that's so tremendously commendable.
It's
Adlar.
just a decent thing to do.
Not everyone would do that.
Well,
Also,
doing it.
Alora was telling me how the battle went. She said you rode a Triceratops and pierced Koron's heart. Is that true?
Not in the slightest. What the fuck did she tell you? Holy shit. No, holy fuck. There was a whole tidal wave and it nearly got all of us, but somehow it just got Barnaby, which was insane. He was stuck there like the whole fight and then we flew away. She was a pterodactyl.
When he woke up, he seemed really dizzy. You think that had anything to do with it?
Probably, honestly. But yeah, no, I mean, we were trying really fucking hard to get that guy and it looked like we were doing good until he, blew up and then I woke up. I don't know what happened after that. Do you want some weed in your tea?
Did you?
You see him sprinkling some into his cup.
I think I'll pass, but thank you.
Sure.
Did
buddy.
you,
Eh?
All right for right now, but thank you.
Sure.
Adlar.
He's just gonna pass Barnaby a clean cup. Not even gonna ask.
You too.
Did you die? Die?
I mean, Koron, he got me.
We didn't
But
really
I-
know how that worked, but did they revive you from death?
He kind of furrows his brow and he says,
You guys get to see something from Burberry you haven't seen before, which is his ear swivels in that direction.
maybe? Honestly, I don't know. I went dark for a moment there, and then I woke up, and everything fucking hurt. Although I was still pretty dizzy from all the fumes, so that helped a bit, but they did look pretty concerned. There was 3 of them standing over me at the time.
Don't tell that to Lauren, please.
He's thinking it over. He's like, I maybe did.
You looked real rough when we got out of that chamber. You had just blood everywhere. I kind of wondered.
Yeah, I didn't feel great, truth to be told. I mean, they definitely gave me a decent amount of what they had after that. So, it took a lot of the edge off, but... I mean, John looked like shit too. But he never woke up. I was just standing there watching him convulsing on the ground, what the fuck, dude? What is he doing to you?
Close.
You looked it. They were
Yeah,
they were worried. They were standing over you oh, this one, he's next to go. But you never did. So whatever you did in there, bravo.
If it hadn't been for John, I would have been.
God, if we could get them out of you, Burberry, and out here to help us kill this motherfucker, I think easy game.
You're saying basically if we could clone Barnaby and me, and
I mean, get everybody. Shit. I mean, we were down Noel and an Aloran, and we lost 3 of us apparently. From what you were saying, 2 of our other selves went down after I did. But I think if we had two whole groups of lost emeralds, I think we could have really done something. Also, Burby, where was my double? Excuse me. And at that point, I think Alora and her mom walk in. How's everyone doing?
Well, he was not requested. And the only doubles that I did actually summon were Noelle and Aloran.
That's true. It
That's a
was
good point.
not a guarantee. We couldn't even get John, and we've spent a ton of time with him.
I mean, John came to the fight himself.
Yeah, well, John just showed up incidentally.
John was waiting in hiding. He was
So you know
waiting
what?
for his
I guess that's a good question there, Adlar. Where were you?
Probably getting high somewhere.
He's about to say, "Is like, if I was me, I would be smoking somewhere with Burr, probably."
Yeah, probably. Wait, but Burr was a planet. Fair enough. Fair enough. On Burr. I'm smoking on Burr.
I'm just conjecturing.
Hire like a weed patch somewhere that he just that he lives in.
Adlar and Aloran's weed garden on planet Burr would have been a sight to see. But nobody went there. Oh well. Missed content. Anyways.
Post-campaign questions.
Aloran and her mom come back in. Mom's got her in a big hug on the side, before she lets go and grabs a cup for you and hands you some tea.
Thank you.
And she says, any thoughts on when the wedding is taking place? Do we have a date in mind yet?
Within 210 days.
Yep. That's our time limit.
I think we could probably make one happen sooner than that.
Probably. Need to get a dress.
We could talk to some tailors in Freeport tomorrow.
Good.
Get that process started. We should get your measurements. As I point to Yoslin.
My measurements.
You gotta wear something.
She takes a moment and then kind of nods. She says, I suppose we will be among mixed company.
You mean if it wasn't, you wouldn't? I'm not going to answer that question.
Fabric creates drag underwater. We generally don't wear anything back home.
That makes a lot of sense.
Been something I've gotten accustomed to. I still hate it when I do have to go. But modesty is a thing here on the surface.
Yes.
Especially for this one.
We noticed. For the record, Jocelyn is probably wearing basically the equivalent of like a bathrobe. Like just like a very loose silk wrap.
Well, we don't have to, but I figured while we're here, a little easier than you having to get shuttled to Freeport.
I suppose that's probably safer.
Can take measurements.
That's true. Burberry is our tailor.
We'll have to get Saren's measurements as well.
Yes, we should probably... She actually might be up. Should I get her?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Burberry's gonna shoot a look at John and then go back.
Or maybe John should go get her.
John will blush and start and ask where.
Yeah, let him go get her. She'll be happier to see him.
She's 2 houses down on the left.
John will quietly leave.
Okay.
They'll probably be gone for like half an hour.
She shoots a look at Laura and like, him and Saren.
Yep.
We don't really know how it works.
Aggressively.
I mean, Adlar's tall, but not that tall.
No.
So he's quite a bit.
How tall is Adlar?
Adler's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
Okay.
He's a tall
Picturing
guy.
him much shorter than that. That's fair.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I
No,
just thought he was.
he's a tall, pretty well built guy.
I always thought of him as like a short king, you know.
He's not bulky. I've always seen him as like kind of like a basketball build, you know,
Nah, sure.
like kind of like shoulders, forearms.
You know, Adlar, I've been to ask, have you ever played basketball?
What is basketball?
You have these balls.
God.
It's so complicated. Then there's these baskets. You ready for step 3?
Sure.
You throw the
Hit me.
balls into them.
No shit.
Crazy, I know.
That's a bonkers idea. Who came up with that?
I don't know.
Meanwhile, I think Yoslin will probably just walk over to Burberry and say, so measurements now, or should we... She'll start like untying the robe.
Sure. Although at this time, Burberry will glance in.
Oh, excuse me. We can go down to the cellar. She'll pull the trap door up and start heading downstairs.
Yeah, Burr will take Burr will take measurements.
Sure.
Don't Google Burberry. That's my mother. She won't.
There's a long pause, and then Burberry goes, gosh darn my plans."
She'll say that like tele.
that is the exact tone of the response.
Sure.
I don't laugh.
Yeah. John, I think, would reach the door pretty quickly. It's not a big village. It's, fucking 20 seconds to walk there. Knock on the door. And you would hear Saren's voice inside. It's like, who is it?
Is John.
And you just hear... The door swings open. She just grabs you by the belt and pulls you inside. Yeah, they do not show up for about half an hour, as predicted. Eventually, Jocelyn and Burberry can come up out of the basement. Jocelyn's like readjusting her wrap and tying off the belt.
Thank you for letting us do that.
Custom.
Planning starts tomorrow.
You have my measurements.
Truthfully, we also were a little surprised by this whole engagement thing. Not that it was unexpected, but it's a pretty new thing, It's not like you're it's well beyond knowing when we found out.
So recently this happened.
Like 3 or 4 days ago.
Would you like to tell the engagement story, or would you like me to tell the engagement story?
I gave her a blunt. The room's just dead quiet after that.
Lord's laughing.
Honestly, I think Yoslin breaks after a couple seconds and just laughs. It's like, you two are perfect for each other.
Have you ever heard a more romantic story than that, Yoslin?
Very few. Very few. Adler just leans into Lauren. I think she likes me.
Pat. Yeah, she loves you.
Yeah, think of it as payback for all the stuff you pulled with my parents.
I didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you pull the same stuff that you did on your parents, her mom would just go with it.
Who spent the last 3 months learning a language just to spring it on me?
Noel.
In the middle of dinner.
So when Burberry says the word parents, Noel's eyes go a little wide. Burberry, should we tell your parents about what just happened?
Are you engaged too?
No. This is something entirely different. Sorry, you just reminded me of something else.
Burberry bursts out laughing. Oh heavens, no! No, Noel has a very loving partner elsewhere.
Oh, that's what you meant. I see.
But aren't you guys like planning on getting married and engaged?
We have, that's going to be the intent going forward, I think. I haven't done a proper proposal yet, but I'm currently kind of figuring that out.
As Adlar would say, just give her a blunt. It's more romantic than that.
No, they are blunt people, though.
No, they're not. Don't do that. Bad advice.
I think everybody has their own definition of romantic.
I feel like I should give her a poem. I mean, wouldn't...
Oh yeah, no.
You would give her a poem.
100% poem. And a ring.
Yeah.
Flowers. Magical fireworks everywhere. Make sweet, sweet love in the sunset.
I'm not great at the magical fireworks thing. I'll just make some more like... I don't think I could even light a campfire with that. But I do have some thoughts. I think that I will be making that call in the next little while.
You could do it at our wedding. That'd be so cute.
That feels a little one-uppy. I would not want to steal the spotlight from your guys' big day.
No.
You just had to catch the bouquet.
Ooh, yes. Catch the bouquet and give it to her. I'll make her throw it at you and make sure no one else can catch it.
You know, I feel like you'd be giving the game a little bit away, Lauren, because I feel like if you threw the bouquet, it would be a baseball throw and you'd be facing her.
I was literally about to turn to her and say, do not beat Noelle with the bouquet. I can see the impulse in your face.
I feel like
You are thinking about it.
The spirit of the bouquet, though, is like people who, are not already engaged catching it.
But you guys aren't engaged yet, are you?
Well, we will be before your wedding, I'm sure.
Ooh.
But no, I think the spirit is like you're getting married next. So you could already be engaged, and that's just sealing the deal with a little good luck.
Well, if we're engaged, I feel like the deal is fairly sealed. You could interpret it either way.
You're getting the bouquet, okay? Just accept it.
I don't want it. I don't need it. I already have a loving girlfriend. I don't need the bouquet to confirm it. There are plenty of other, much more single people than I who might need
yes,
that
you should throw the bouquet at me. I need the help.
Burberry is single and looking.
Barnaby needs some help.
No.
Barnaby will find...
I feel like Barnaby would also propose with blunt, not a blunt.
He would propose bluntly.
Yeah.
We prefer the term shotgun wedding. That's how we do it.
So
Barnaby, I have bad news. If it's a shotgun wedding, you're never getting married.
Oh, no, you see, the woman that likes you points a shotgun at you, and that's how it all works.
Oh, it's a
Barnaby,
different definition. Got you.
Don't take this the wrong way, but if a shrimp woman ever approached you, would that just seal the deal?
No.
Or would you eat her?
I think you'd eat her.
I wouldn't even question it.
He already tried to eat a deer, remember?
Oh, that's right. Oh, wait, no, I wasn't there for that. He tried to eat a deer?
Oh, yeah, he
What's wrong with eating the deer?
He tried to eat a talking deer.
Oh, no, Barnaby, you don't do that.
It looks like a deer. It talks like a deer.
Wait. Let me just unpack that. It talks like a deer?
Yeah, like they did in that place that we went to.
Most deer don't talk.
Deer don't talk, Barnaby.
Well, this one sure did.
Then you shouldn't eat it.
Kept running his mouth while I was trying to shoot him.
Look, deer is deer. That's as simple as it is.
Okay.
Not if they talk. Anyways, I think we can unravel this all night. Let's continue.
Bitch, you're here! Sarah kicks in the door.
Hey,
John with her.
Oh, thank God.
She's probably got that glow on her.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that deer conversation came up every day of the 55 days we were traveling through the Feywild, just for 5 minutes.
It talked, Barnaby. You can't shoot it.
This is why Aldrin and Barnaby just didn't get along. So it would never dropped.
Yeah, Older just kept bringing it up.
Parrots and dolphins talking, we still eat them.
Who eats dolphins?
Barnaby, do you eat
Whatever,
dolphin?
eating
The
dolphin.
gumbo out.
Have you never eaten a dolphin?
What is wrong with you? You're a monster!
It's called food.
No! You eat dolphins? Dolphins are friends, not food.
Fish are friends, not food.
Well,
You
fish are.
talk to a fish, but you still eat fish.
Yeah, fish are food.
And dolphins are fish.
No, they're not. They're mammal.
They live in the water.
You're a mammal.
That's a fish. They don't live in the water.
Definition of a fish. Anyways, hi, Saren.
Technically, we eat a lot of mammals.
God, I fucking miss you guys. What have you guys been up to? What is all this? You guys just coming to hang out?
Well, are you ready?
Alright, I'm gonna try real hard this time.
Guess what, Saren?
What?
Adlar and I are engaged.
Oh my god! She fucking grabs you, squealing, just fucking jumping on you. It's like, when did that happen? When did he do it? Oh my fucking god! Did you seriously propose? Oh my god! Yeah, just gushing.
She's done. Never mind.
Anyways. Oh, where were we going with
I
that?
was gonna make a very inappropriate joke.
I'm
just-
sure.
Do it.
You're in good company, apparently.
Not as much as she was half an hour
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
It's like, I don't want to ruin the moment. It's good to see you, Saren.
You too. How are you? You're looking good. I like that cut.
Thank you very much.
Is it because you can see more of her boobs?
I mean, she has great tits.
I see. I knew it.
I appreciate that. You know, I started to notice it. And,
Saren, here you go. And she'll pull out an invitation and hand it to her.
Oh, well, yeah, might as well.
No, you're related!
She starts opening. It's like, is this for the wedding? And then her eyes go wide, and then your mom starts looking over like, what is that?
No, mother,
Sarah,
do not read that.
Close, like, ma'am, this is a private correspondence. Do you mind? Backs up to
It's
the
the least
wall and
Saren
starts
thing I've
reading
ever
it.
Saren
She like-
and Lorne are not sisters, by the way, Burberry.
Oh.
No, they're like best friends. They have fucked
Okay.
many people together.
Okay, alright.
But she starts reading it, and she's like looking at the letter. She's looking at you, and she's like pointing at the party, like, who? You know, like
And she'll
mouthing it
point
to
at
you.
like Noelle, her, point at Adlar, Burberry, and then do like a maybe.
Sarah's like looking around, like, you know, nodding. She like points to John, like,
You should ask him for us.
she's gonna wave to John, like, come here.
What is it?
She's gonna hold up this little folded piece of paper. What does it say?
I don't know. What does it say?
Noelle, what does it say?
What does it say, Lauren?
Who wrote the invitation?
Noelle.
Noelle wrote the invitation.
Noelle, what does the invitation say?
You have been cordially invited to an intimate meeting upon the defeat of the evil warlock La Shirog, a celebratory event. Yeah, it's very, like, overly written. It's an invitation to an orgy.
Sarah's
But
just
it's
looking at
the most eloquent orgy invitation you have ever read.
Sarah's just looking at John, just making the big eyebrows, right? Like, just up and down.
John looks at Saren. He's like, raises one eyebrow and like a questioning, like, "Are you okay with this?"
And she's like, are you okay with this?
John looks at Lauren and is like, "Really?"
If you're not okay with it, you don't have to join. Also, Burberry, and she'll take the letter and hand it to Burberry.
She takes the same letter.
Same letter.
She takes it out of their hands.
Yeah.
John looks at Lauren more and like, "Are you really serious about this?"
Burberry will skim over the invitation and then look at both of y'all and say, how many people are going to be in this?
Well,
Like ballpark number.
we've invited a few.
I mean, I've already been in one too many people event.
So,
Like a dozen, I think.
what?
It's like a dozen, right?
Yeah, there's Alexi. We invited Gideon, but he's a maybe. He hasn't outright said no.
John looks back at Saren is like, if you're okay with it.
Saren's got a big smile on her
think
face.
we're at
Like,
about
yeah.
10 right now.
Oh, I think that number just went up. Both of them said yes.
No, I was counting them.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm all right. As I said, I've already been in one that had a few too many people, and at some point, everybody starts looking the same.
That is completely fair.
Well, if you change your mind,
Orgied out.
you just let us know.
I assume this is all happening in very hushed whispers while Aloran's mom is just watching,
It
just like,
probably started that
fuck
way,
it,
and then it became not that way very quickly.
Oh no, Burberry wasn't being hushed, but Burberry was carefully using words.
Sure. I think Jocelyn probably is just kind of sitting back in her chair with her cup of tea, just like,
She knows my dad
I
before.
remember my younger days.
wardens haven't changed a bit since I was a kid.
Nope.
Well, say hi to Alexi for me next time you see him.
I will. He's actually living in our house with us now.
You have a house?
Oh yeah, I bought a house for all of us
When did you buy a house?
like a week ago.
Where?
Oh,
What kinds?
in Freeport. It was like an old manor.
Oh, here's something prestidigitation actually can do. I make a little illusion of the house to show her.
Her eyes are definitely like bugging out. Like, you bought that?
Yes.
How much?
Putting your life on the
Did
line
that
all the time,
cost?
it gets you a lot of money.
How much? I don't even know. It was a lot. But I gave it was half the money I got, and then I gave some to Alexi and to Gideon.
She's just like, well, as soon as this whole Shark thing is over, I'm coming over to visit.
Yes.
I need to see this house.
You will.
Well, as long as you. Well, no, Freeport's not safe right now.
After everything's settled.
But I think we'll be okay in Fair.
After everything's settled with this culty thing.
Yeah, the less exposure that you have to the public, the better right now. I do think the wedding is a fair exception, though.
Because he is actively looking for everybody here, so.
Well, he's a long way from finding us, I think, if we're this far inland and he is a pirate lord.
Last time I
If I recall correctly.
saw him, he was like on an island beach. He's definitely not up this way.
No, I can't imagine he's getting a ship across the mountains.
No.
That being said, we probably shouldn't have the wedding in anywhere significant to any of us.
I mean, the resort on Feral is a pretty nice, cozy place.
I mean,
You just
if
like that
you're
resort
okay,
because it's free weed.
sure, it's-
And
Just saying.
it's a great place for a wedding.
You guys got
Okay.
time to decide.
Okay. Well, I think as the conversation is kind of winding down, is there anything anyone wants to attend to tonight before you rest?
I would be
Nope.
curious. Lauren, did you want us to stay here tonight?
Well, we can. Maybe in the woods.
I only asked because I get the sense that we're kind of close to Aelia. This area looks familiar, and I'd be curious to go walk around there.
If you would like to go, you are more than welcome to. I'll probably just stay here. Visit with my mother.
Oh, I can go with. It's been a very long time since I've been in Aelia proper. And I do need to get some more fabric. I need some buffer.
Barnaby, John, would you like to go to Aelia tonight, or would you like to stay here?
I think I'd stay here. We've been walking for a bit. I want to take a break.
Yeah, I'm tired too.
I'm just interested in spending some more time with Sarah.
I figured as much.
Sure.
Well, if it's just me and Burberry, do you want to go to Aelia?
Sure. As I said, I did offer. And I need to practice a bit more anyway. And he, taps the cane on the floor twice.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you very much, Yoslin, for the tea and the company. Sorry if we got a little rowdy there.
Thank you for keeping me appraised of my daughter's activities.
It was my idea to come here.
She's doing well. She just smiles at you.
She's doing very well.
Actually, I should ask, you know any good fishing spots?
We are right on a lake, Barnaby, but you'll have to cut a
Yeah, I
few
know.
in the
There's still good spots.
Honestly, the fishing on the shore is pretty bad these days. You kind of need to get out on the lake itself. We do have a couple of dinghies if you want to head out.
I got a boat. I got a foldable boat as I hold out a plank.
She just looks at your plank and says, "Uh-huh."
It is actually a boat, I promise.
Really?
It is. It folds up into a plank
It's
of wood.
pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
To watch it fold out of itself.
Well, this I need to see. She'll stand up and follow Barnaby outside.
Made it fold up by squishing the wood real tight.
Sure. And yeah, you unfold the boat. She's just kind of watching, eyes amazed, arms crossed. Before she says, "I have never seen the like. And I consider myself to be relatively well exposed to this sort of thing, thanks to the wardens. That's impressive, genuinely." And yeah, you'd be able to row out. She would tell you, it's you probably want to get far enough that the village is about the size of your thumb. Fishing starts to get better about that distance.
All right. I'm just going to grab the back of the boat and put on my flying boots holding the boat.
Barnaby just perfectly horizontal out to the water.
Exactly.
It is a clever use of those.
And I'm going to spend my time there working on my project and fishing.
Okay. I think after Barnaby's left, he also just looks to Aloran I do not know if I will ever meet a more perplexing individual.
Same, mother, same.
He might be the most interesting man I've ever met.
He's an interesting one for sure. Do love him dearly. It's quite entertaining to be around.
Mm-hmm. She just kind of stands and just watches Barnaby flying back out to the fucking middle of the lake before she turns back and follows you back inside.
Careful, you might need to buy you a shotgun.
Not quite like that.
Oh, thank gods.
Burberry.
I couldn't call Barnaby dad.
That would be fucking hilarious. Burberry and Noelle, I think, would be able to head out. Aelia is about 3 hours away at this point.
We will teleport.
Okay.
I saved the spell slots for that. Well, we'll use teleportation circle to the basement building.
Okay. So the basement of the old courthouse.
Yeah.
Or city hall, I think it was. And yeah, you guys will be able to step back out onto the streets. Very, very Christmassy. There's the cobblestone streets, the garlands strung along the eaves of the buildings, firelight flickering through thick panes of glass. Very old style city, much older looking than Freeport. There's still a lot of that sort of medieval stonework on display here and there throughout the avenues.
I imagine it's pretty late, right?
It's.
Well, I guess we gained hours when we got.
Yeah, but at this point, after visiting for a while, it's probably like 8.
Oh, okay.
9, maybe. Somewhere in there.
Is there a specific holiday that is celebrated, like Christmassy or whatever?
That would have been a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're in the summer, aren't we? Or
No,
we're in the. Oh yeah. We did this already.
It's towards the end of the second month of the year.
Yeah, there's like the winter solstice stuff.
Yeah, you guys had the winter solstice. Where is the calendar? There we go. So, midwinter was earlier this month, which is more of a celestial day than it is like a holiday. There was Day of Rights and First Pact earlier this month as well.
Sure.
Which were both sort of memorials. Day of Rights was like early in the month. I think you guys were out of town for that though. You were in the Feywild.
Right.
And then First Pact is like a incursion memorial celebration. So, candlelight vigils, solemn, kind of congregations.
Yeah.
Kind of a somber month, honestly, for holidays.
Okay. I just think as we're walking, Noel probably just says, big day for you.
First day with my face in the cool breeze? Yeah, no, it's a pretty solid day.
How are you feeling?
Stiff. But good.
Is it hard to get used to? Does it feel weird?
It's like wearing clothes that you found in the back of your closet after a very long time. Familiar, but you forgot that the tag itches and that the seams are a little strange.
But there is a comfort there, I think, too, to wearing something that you have cherished long ago.
Definitely. And, I really want to make a joke about, you finding me handsome and everything, but, iffy.
Well, wouldn't have invited you to the orgy if we didn't.
Well, I appreciate the invitation nonetheless. I'm sure you'll have a hail time, and I do expect details later.
I imagine that you're not going to be able to stop Lauren from talking about it after the fact.
True. Well, it depends on what happens. You never talk about a bad orgy.
Well, I've never been a part of one, so I wouldn't know. But I hope that wasn't too weird. I know we just had our whole thing, and to have that invite sent to you right afterwards,
I mean, honestly, like I don't even worry about it. It's not a big deal. I'm glad you're happy, and I don't know what possessed me to get all weird about it. Sorry.
It's okay. I think that when you were split apart like that, those two halves of yourself just got more amplified than they maybe normally would have been. It was all
sense.
Very sweet. The thing I was always most scared about was just damaging what we had. That's all.
Well, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that anytime soon. Plus, you and Jade are very cute together.
Thank you. I love her a lot.
I expect to be a man of honor, I hope you know.
Absolutely. I was thinking earlier, with all this talk of weddings and proposals, I maybe would take her to Aelia for a day out or something like that. You know?
You can use this time of us walking around to scope out inns.
That's quite literally what I wanted to do.
Hey, he offers you a fist bump.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's funny. This is literally the first time I've been through here since I left home. And honestly, it's the first time I've really walked through here without being Lorelei.
You know, I liked Lorelei, but I think I like you a bit better.
I would hope so. Lorelei tends to lie a lot.
Maybe that's where the lie comes in, Lorelei.
You know, I'd never even thought about that. Yeah, I guess I lie a lot too, don't I? I've had to lie a lot.
You lie when it's necessary. The motives are important, you know.
There's a lot of nuance there.
Lots of people lie for the right reasons. Churches do it all the time.
I should know.
Get a little real.
I mean, sometimes a bit of lying helps people feel better about stuff.
There are some lies that are important. None of them were the ones I was telling back then.
No. That's one of the reasons that I think I like Noelle a bit better. Even if Lorelei was pretty cute. Noelle's also pretty cute.
I think I like Noelle a lot better.
I'd hope so. If you didn't, and he, lowers his head, just so slightly, I'd have concerns.
Yeah. You realize how surreal it is to be talking to you like this?
Almost as surreal as you being inside my head.
That whole thing was really surreal. I kind of remember it like a dream almost. Like when I lay down tonight for bed, it'll come back to me really vividly, but during the day it almost kind of faded.
Can you do me a favor? Just promise me you'll forget about me dyeing my horns. I know that's a dumb thing, but please forget about me dyeing my horn. It's so embarrassing.
We walked through so many memories, Burberry. I feel like it kind of all blurred together anyway.
That's the spirit.
That was Noelle lying.
That's the spirit.
Tell him what he needs to hear.
That's an important lie.
See?
Speaking of lying for good reasons, did you want to know what we changed in there? I guess it doesn't really matter if you know at this point.
You know, oddly enough, I would rather not. If only because sometimes, alright, this is gonna be slightly paranoid of me, so don't mind me, but, on the off chance that I have to go back there again, not knowing which memories you would change will stop things from solidifying.
That's true. I just, in the moment when we were changing things, it really seemed to... I mean, you were doubled over from a headache at one point. I felt bad.
I think that was mostly because everything was colliding in my brain. It wasn't as bad, the measure of it wasn't as bad. It was like a really bad hangover.
That makes sense. Well, consider it an open invitation. If you ever did want to get your past sorted. I can help with that. I changed like 90% of the stuff, so I do remember those parts. But if you'd like to keep it a mystery, that's fine too.
A mystery would be good for now, I think. At least for a little bit until we're absolutely sure this is all solidified.
Very prudent.
Prudent was my middle name. Or my stripper name in college. I never figured that out.
Burberry stripped his way through seminary.
Yeah, of course. I think that just maybe subconsciously, accidentally, Noelle has just kind of walked them back to that market where they first met.
Man, this is a blast from the past.
I'm kind of amazed how many of the stalls are exactly the same.
I'd be a little worse for wear, but...
The wood hasn't lasted as well as some of the stone buildings around here.
I'd hope not. It was
lay off, okay? The winters are hard out here.
This guy's like shutting his cart down, fucking getting out to drink. Fucking storms off.
I'm sorry.
I
didn't think he was listening.
They're always listening. Small town rules.
It's a big city.
This is not a small town.
Well, yeah, but it's a big city at 2 a.m., so that's small town rules. Everybody listens to everything whenever there's less people around.
That's fair.
Do you want to get a drink?
I do.
Do you want to see if that, oh man, there was that place that had, like, the really good kolaches?
Oh, that's, I think that's only like 5 blocks that way.
Do you want to see if they're open?
Yes.
Yeah. I think at this hour, they're probably getting ready to shut down for the
I
night.
thought it was 8 p.m.
I mean, if you say it's like fucking 8 or 9, you guys have been walking around for an hour. It's a bakery. It's a kolache place. They're probably shutting down for the night so they can go home and then wake up early to bake. But they could probably, like, here, take some. They're just, they're giving away the old stale ones.
I'll still pay for them, but not like, basically I'll give them money in return.
Yeah,
he's waving. He's like, no. I am not. You are not paying for swill, but enjoy the kolache. I will have fresh tomorrow.
We'll come back in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
Takes a bite. It's kind of stale.
It's a city of angry French people.
Yeah, I remember that part. Some part of me hopes that had changed in the last 10 years. Something like that. We can get a drink, though. I'm sure there's a tavern around here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, taverns are around, taverns are open. Definitely a different...
French people, there are taverns.
Definitely a different style from... the bars and distilleries in Freeport and the Emerald Coast.
But actually, before we go inside, I think Noah would be like, Burberry, my hands are cold. Do you want to try the fire breath?
All right, hands out, and he
I'll stand to the side so it goes, in front of me.
Yeah. So Burberry will try to angle it, and he's gonna try and keep it small so that he doesn't set anything on fire that's not supposed to be on
like
fire.
In the middle of the road,
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here.
This is where Noelle loses her eyebrows.
Sorry, it's been a while since I've used it.
Okay. I'll say you make a Constitution check.
Uh, 13.
doing your best to control it. It's a pretty decently sized jet. It's not like a little tiny thing. It's a good 3 feet out before it kind of like fades out. But you hold it steady, and it's warm for sure.
Oh, that was so good, Burberry.
A couple people walking by kind of clap. They toss you a couple like coins on the ground and then just keep walking.
We paid for the stale food.
That we didn't pay for.
It's like 3 copper.
Thank you.
You know what? I will donate this to the church.
Probably better use of it than us holding on to it.
Oh, sure.
Alright, we'll go inside.
Alright. Yeah, you guys can get some drinks. Anything else before the end of the day?
The end of both days.
I think we're good.
Okay. Then I think before we end the session, the last order of business here, Noel, at about 10:30, 11 p.m.
Jade's in trouble again.
You hear Gideon's voice in your head. East Alliance intelligence stopped by asking about you. Say they're planning a large briefing for first thing next week. If you guys are unavailable, I can let them know to postpone.
We'll be back in Freeport, but before next week, maybe tomorrow even. We'll let them know we'll be there.
There's no response. And with that, I think we can call it a game. Good session, guys.
It was so much sadder than I expected to get Burberry back. I didn't think we'd be killing his old self.
That was crazy.
Are you killing his old self, though? Or just vacating the body?
The morgue.
Ask the fact that his soul was being pulled towards them, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be on that one, but if you require the spell Resurrection to put him together, then yes, you're killing him.
Some died. We got the corpses to prove it.
We do.
Or reincarnation or whatever.
Okay, technically. But Burberry's not dead.
No, Burberry's not dead.
Burr and Barry, the singer.
Burberry is just gonna have, Burberry's just gonna have trouble sleeping for the next few nights, having seen himself dead twice.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
I'm not sorry about that. I was like, ooh, this is an interesting way to do it.
Hey, you know what'd be really fucked up? I'm gonna use a druid spell to classic clerics.
It's a very, very modified druid spell. They got to choose what you turned into. That's different. Better, arguably.
But no, that was cool.
I thought it was interesting. But
Burberry's taking that to his grave.
Oh, most definitely. That was like kind of scarring and like it was good, but it was also like, oh my god, that is so dark.
Well, no, and that was the reason that Burberry was quote-unquote having trouble remembering what spell, because he knows it's a druid spell, so Lauren might know it. Didn't want her to...
He's like, oh no, don't guess it. Lauren's gonna wake up at like 2 a.m, like, reincarnate! I figured it out.
You got reincarnated!
In the shower tomorrow.
And then Burberry's gonna go, no, it could have been reincarnation because they were able to pick my form.
Well, that's just their high level. They can probably figure that out.
Figure something out. Yeah, that was a good game. There's a lot of moments, honestly.
It was a very sweet session.
A lot of good moments.
How did you make me cry?
I'm not alone.
I didn't cry, but I definitely teared up.
Aw.
You'll join us soon enough, Johnny.
I will one day.
I almost got you.
You almost got me. All
I
right,
almost
guys.
got you.
The update.
Oh damn. That's a long scarf.
It
Nah.
started at the fucking 4-inch mark.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good progress.
Do we need MVP? I guess I vote Burberry for that.
We should vote MVP, yo.
I vote for free.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be good. 'Cause I'm gonna add tassels to it.
All right.
That looks long enough.
Almost there.
I vote for Allura.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't do anything.
You got hitched to your mom.
Yeah, you had a nice scene with your mom too.
That was a good moment. Well, I hear one Burberry, one to Lauren.
I think Barnaby's not
There's
here.
2 Burberrys,
2 Burberries, one to Lauren.
and Barnaby is stepped away. So
All right. Well, if no other votes are ever forthcoming, then I think it's going to Burberry.
Burberry, I just got back.
Oh, there he is. All right, 3 to Burberry. So Burberry takes the inspiration today.